Hello, beautiful people out there in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter land. It is DemetraKaye, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Saadiq, on the DemetraKaye show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you to Donovan for being here as my co-host on this Sunday where we are live. Also like to thank the audience, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You not all are not just audience. No. You are considered the third co-host because we do read your questions, comments, and concerns, and sometimes your shade, but it's all love because we feel like you all should be included as well. Also like to say a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go further. And today we are going to talk about that of the new Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. However, there will be no spoiler alerts. At least I'm going to try not to do that because I hate when people do that to me. But I did ponder, has Wakanda been gentrified? I'll get into that in just a few. Donovan, what say you?
All right. Welcome, you guys. It is Sunday. Dallas Cowboys will be playing fairly soon. How about them Cowboys? So unfortunately, I am here doing what I said I'm going to do, and I'm committed to doing this first versus watching my football team and watching football because I think this is a little bit more important. But do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, the most important thing to do is share this on your own platforms so that other people can get the message and get an opinion and come and find the show and do all that. And if you guys are so eager to help the show, we have a whole bunch of pay things that you guys can contribute. PayPal, Zelle, all of that, Cash App, all of that stuff is there. And then also check out DemetraKaye on the podcast and all the streaming networks. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. I also want to give a big shout out to Deanna Moses, who always hypes me up before the show and gets me ready to go. Very opinionated young lady. And again, it's going to be an excellent show. I myself did not see the Wakanda movie. I did not enjoy the first one, so I wasn't going to waste my money on the second one at all. So let's get into it. Unmute.
I didn't even realize I put myself on mute, but sorry about that. So, all right, before we get started, I want to get into the comments. Kelly, how you doing? Says, I am here for this, sis. I wanted the same thing when my son and I saw it. Okay. And Anthony, what's going on? He said, yes, it has. I saw it with my family yesterday, and I thought, damn, we have no friends. Strong message. And Candy Girl 83, how you doing? He says, it definitely has. I actually like the first one better. Monet, what's going on with you? Miss Sunlight. And Rick C, what's going on? He says, gentrified and colonized. And BJBG, how you doing? And Queen Nambia, what's going on with you? You say, sending my brothers and sisters love and light. Don, my moderator, what's going on with you? Let's see who else is here. Complex Blackness, how you doing? He says, not feeling all the inclusiveness. Neymar didn't have to be indigenous. He's not indigenous in the comic. He has more so Asian features in the comic. Okay. You also say, trying to push the Black and brown narrative. Tawana, how you doing? And Mr. Pirate Brain, what's going on? Facts, not feelings. Hey, how you doing? Said, peace and love, family. No matriarchy for Wakanda and Tracy. All right, so, and who else? Jael, I hope I said that right. Says, watching from the Philippines. Hello. All right, so I did go see the movie. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, with my daughter. The movie, I think it was about 2 hours, give or take, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I'm really trying not to give you guys any spoilers. I would say that the Black Panther was created in 1966 by that of Stan Lee, who is, the creator of a whole lot of characters. Spider-Man is one of them. He created Black Panther out of the Fantastic Four, Volume 52. He decided, you know what, we need a Black superhero. He said he actually thought of it when he was a child. You guys know Stan Lee was, very old, I think into his 90s when he passed. He also did make a cameo in the first Black Panther. He was sitting at the bar in the at the casino, if you will, I guess gambling or whatever. So he typically liked to make guest starring or cameos in his films. And I think Black Panther, if I'm not mistaken, was the last one that he did. Okay, and so this particular franchise was directed by that of Ryan Coogler. I personally liked this particular movie, Wakanda Forever. Yes, it's a little bit different. As you guys know, Chadwick Boseman, the original Black Panther, unexpectedly died a few years ago. I think it was 2018, 19, or 20, whatever it was. I think it was 2020 that he passed. And so nobody knew he was sick and all of that. So it kind of sent the franchise into a tailspin. And I would imagine they had to do some rewriting of the whole thing. Now, it should also be said that Daniel Kaluuya, I think that's how you say his name, he was not in the movie as well because he had other obligations that he had to meet. And of course, you guys know Killmonger, he expired in the last franchise. All right. So I've seen some narratives about the movie. The first one, let's address Namor, who is the villain, I guess you could call him that. He is from I can't pronounce the name of the city that he's from, but they are from under the sea or whatever. They're like fish people, I guess, if you will. And that's probably wrong, but that's kind of how I see it. He comes into the movie and he warns them in Wakanda about certain things. I won't tell you why, because some of y'all may see the movie. He is a Mayan, I guess Mexican Mayan. That's what they portray. I'm just telling y'all what they portrayed him in the movie. Now, listen, I know we're going to get into a lot of back and forth about the comic not being right. I'm not into comic books like that. That was something I did when I was a kid. I'm telling y'all what I saw, okay, on this film. All right, so he was very powerful. We'll say that he and his kingdom were very powerful, even more so than that of the warriors in Wakanda. Wakanda is where the Black Panther and his family lived. Okay. Now, so a lot of people are saying that it was of a feminist agenda. I'm going to tell y'all right off the top. And in this conversation, I want us to use some emotional intelligence as well. Let's not get all wrapped up into emotions, because at the end of the day, Disney owns this movie. Ain't none of us making no money from it, at none whatsoever. Okay. Now, I'm a Black woman, and I tell y'all all the time that I'm not a feminist. I'm not on the feminist, train or anything like that. Never have, never will be. But I'm telling you, as I sit here, I did not see a feminist agenda in this movie at all. Now, I could spot a feminist agenda fairly well. I did not see one in this movie. Okay, so I'm just going to say that. As I said before, the circumstances that had befallen upon the franchise with the death of Chadwick Boseman, they had to do some revisions. Let's just keep it real, right? Because he was going to continue on being the Black Panther if he did not die in real life. Other thing I will say is this: at the beginning of the movie, I cried. It was very sad, and because of how they paid tribute to that of Chadwick Boseman, and there was not a sound in the movie during that tribute. So I will say that it was quiet, like you could hear a pin drop. So my hats off to Ryan Coogler or whoever directed that scene for sending him away in a nice fashion. All right, the other thing that I've seen people complain about that is there's LGBTQ elements in this movie. And I will say this, there is, but if you blinked, you literally would have missed it. I kid you not. Because when I saw it, I was like, did it? Is that? Then I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But I'm telling you, it was just so quick, really quick. So there was no agenda there to turn people, gay or anything like that. Also, I've seen a lot of people talk about the Black and Brown coalition, if you will. Yes, there was elements of that in the movie. Now, I would say for most of us who say that we are woke, and I'm not talking about woke in the sense that we so woke we sleep. I'm talking about woke in the true sense. You know that when you're watching this movie, that I would imagine Ryan Coogler or whoever was behind writing this movie, they understood what we understand about the Black and Brown coalition. Okay, so yes, that was heavy in the movie. I'm going to say that without giving you guys the movie. Now, I think it was addressed from 2 points, because my sister called me and she saw it today and she was mad. She says, why do we always got to be, and I'm going to say come in second, if you will. So then I explained it to her from the point of view, I would like to think that Ryan and whoever else was behind writing this movie saw the Black and Brown coalition. And I'm not going to tell you because y'all might go see the movie, so I'm not going to really give too much away. But yes, that was in the movie. But as I saw it, as it played out, I think the movie conceded the fact that Black people are phenomenal in being smart, right? Not going to give it away. I have to keep saying that because I can remind myself not to give it away. But ultimately, the movie said that Black people are smart and you will never, ever, ever, ever outsmart Black people. I'm going to say that, okay? Now, on the brown side of it, to me, it was saying kind of what Joe Biden said. They outnumber y'all. They outnumber y'all. Y'all better learn how to get along with them. Okay, so that's kind of all I'm gonna say about that. But ultimately, I would like to say this. Listen, Disney, Ryan, the Black Panther, and I'm not even gonna tell y'all who the Black Panther was, who came into I'm not gonna tell y'all none of that. Y'all gonna see if it's, but I want to say this. I'm not getting no money at all to promote this movie. I want to make that very clear. But I will say this. Instead, I'm a content creator, so I got to go see these movies, okay? I don't know if we were supposed to be boycotting this movie, but I would say go see it for yourself. Go see it for yourself. We got to get out of the habit of watching critiques on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram of people who didn't see the movie themselves. They heard. Oh, it's a feminist. I saw somebody, God love her. I don't even know the lady's name. I was on Twitter and she put up the poster and she says, well, from this poster, as y'all can see, I think I put up the same poster in the thumbnail. If you can see from this poster, basically she was trying to assert that it was a feminist agenda. And I am telling y'all, I saw the movie. I did not see a feminist agenda. In fact, I say hats off to Ryan Coogler and whoever and all the other people who wrote this movie for not making it that. And I'm telling y'all, I did not see that at all. So with that, go see it for yourself so you can make a sound judgment or a critique and say, yeah, I saw that, or I didn't see that. Now, I'm just imagining somebody said, well, give us a rating, Demetra. What would you rate this movie? In my opinion, I'm not saying I got the best movie rating system. I would give it a strong, close 10. That was me. I would give the movie a 10. I think it was very well done. So, Donovan, what say you? And I'm going to get to you guys' comments.
All right. Well, I did not see the movie because I was I was the Black kid in school that always had the comic books. I had a stuttering problem, so I always read comic books to do it. So when I was growing up in Japan, a lot of people, all my friends knew I had these comic books. I had a whole Foot Locker full of them, just Spider-Man, Iron Man. So I kind of knew the canon. And of course, when you're a Black kid and you see a Black superhero, you're going to collect that. The Falcon, which was a Black superhero, stuff like that. So I didn't see the movie because, number one, I saw the first one and I was not impressed. I don't understand it was a generic story that you've seen hundreds of times. And so after wasting money on that, I said, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. And I don't really watch a lot of the superhero movies that are out there because it doesn't really necessarily follow the canon of the comic book. Because let's face it, when I was coming up, there were no gay superheroes. There was no women agenda type stuff. You had Wonder Woman, you had your standard type stuff. So I'm not going to tell people not to go see the movie because it's entertainment, and that's exactly what it is. But it kind of makes me wonder. We could go to these movies. Oh, Wakanda Forever. And, you got Kamala and the Sororos all doing all this craziness, right? About how great it is, in a movie. But yet we can't make Wakanda for ourselves in real life, or at least a semblance of it. It's almost like they put it out there to make us feel good about ourselves. And then you leave the movie theater, then the reality hits you right back in the damn face. You're at this level, whatever. Why can't we be a Wakanda for real? Let's stop having to go to a movie to see ourselves in these great positions. That's why, like Demetra and I sometimes we'll talk about Shakwakwa and all these things like that. Whatever Shakwakwa means and Shanae and all these names mean, you know, you see these people that are named these names, and I'm very sure they're named great names. They mean something. Like my name, Donovan, it means dark warrior or brown stranger. So you got these great names. I mean, we're named these things for a certain reason, and yet we go out into the real world and we aren't living up to the names we were given. And so that's always been my thing with it. And like I said, I'm not saying don't go see the movie. If you need to go see a movie to make yourself feel better, to be entertained, absolutely go do it. The director was a brother. Go see the movie. I think, you know, that's what you want to do. But for me, because I follow the original canon of it, I'm not interested in seeing the movie. I'm just not interested in seeing it. Don't want to see it. But why can't we make a Wakanda for real by holding these elected officials accountable and getting the right people in there so that we can do great things like Wakanda? So if you're all into that symbolism stuff, ooh, Wakanda was great or whatever. Okay, take that energy and make the community better.
So I'll just read y'all comments and saying hello to everybody that came on here. So let me continue on with that, and I'll read your comments as we go. So Rashad said, it's okay, Demetra, I'm not going to watch that movie. Yeah, but some people might, so I will try not to give it away. Maybe at another time we can have a discussion about it when, you know, everybody is kind of watching, but I really don't want to do a lot of spoiling, if you will. And Jafaya, what's going on with you? In Complex Blackness says Ryan Kugler is from the Bay. So here in Cali, the relationship between black and brown in the North is different. I'm from Southern California. Same here. He said, and it's been tension for decades, the streets and prison. Yep. So that is very true. And it's funny because I was having that conversation with my daughter about actually my brother, the Black and Brown Coalition in California. It is a lot different. Like you said, up north it's different. In the South, Southern California, there is some tension. Although, you know, black and brown, you know, we get along on certain things, but at the end of the day, they gonna be for their people, right? So, good point. And Al Kibulan, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, I won't even pay a penny to see that anti-black agenda crap. Well, I'm telling you, I saw it and I didn't see the anti-blackness in this movie. Because when we say anti-blackness, I think we need to be able to define what anti-blackness is, because a lot of times we throw terms around that doesn't really apply. So if you could, if you don't mind, explain to me what you mean by anti-black agenda crap. Donovan, you stupid. Talking about I'm lying. And La Raza Africana, how you doing? He says, I recommend all African Americans to buy real estate in Latin America. Okay, well, do tell. And Rain says, no, thank you. I'm not with the Black and Brown coalition, Black and Brown BS. Okay. And Dusty Hotep, how you doing? He says, yeah, you like Woman King too. I did like Woman King. You know, but as I said, I'm a content creator. And even if I wasn't, I'm not going to allow people on Twitter that have not seen the movie or anything for that matter to tell me what to do and not to do. I think we should all form our own opinions. But see, as I said, with the Woman King, I did my research before I went. So I didn't go in there like, oh, this is real. I knew the movie was fiction. Nobody was saying that the movie was real. I knew it was fiction, and I knew the origins, you know, of the warriors and all that. So, I mean, yeah.
Well, actually, the studio did try to say that the movie was real initially. It said it was based on a true story. Then they changed the symbols later on.
I never heard where they said the movie. It was. So they said it was some things like the they call them Dora Milaje in Black Panthers. I forget the name that they are in the Woman King. So forgive me. But yeah, so it was based off of them. But clearly, 95% of the movie was fiction. I was like, come on, you know. And also, I'm not going to get into the Woman King. Maybe we'll a little bit later. Yanni, how you doing? Says, good evening, y'all. Donovan, go to time out. Oh, and Tania, how you doing? Says, was Angela Bassett the only Black American in the movie? The only Black American? I mean, I don't know where everybody is from per se, but I don't know. I don't know if she was the only one. Monet says, I've never been into superhero movies. I didn't care for Harry Potter either, so they can count me out on making the dollar. I like the Harry Potter series. I know a lot of people, especially religious people, like, oh, it's of the devil. Don't go see the movie. I mean, I saw it. I know how to separate fact from fiction. And all of Harry Potter was fiction, I would think. And J.K. Rowling, who is the author of that series, is a white woman from the UK, was on welfare. And she said the idea came to her on a train one day as she was in poverty. And she is the first billionaire author ever on the planet, just in case y'all wanted to know about that. All right. And Damon, he says, were the writers of the film Black? Yes. And Rashadi says, I didn't watch Black Panther neither. I love to support Black people, but not everything should be supported just because it's geared toward us. I totally agree with that. And Tania, you says, when Black Americans ain't in the movie, the swag, charisma is not there. We make these movies. Sorry, not sorry. There's a lot of Black people in the movie. A lot of Black people. And Laraza says, Latinos are the future majority of the U.S. Afro descendants are future majority in Latin America. Okay, well, do tell. Brother Joe Nail, what's going on? He says, every knock is a boost. Great movie. Always extract the best part and settle on the best part. Salute to Chadwick Boseman. I give it a 10. Angela Bassett is an A actress. I totally agree with you. I love the movie. I loved it. I mean, it was a great send-off to not just the Black Panther T'Challa, but to Chadwick Boseman. I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and real quick, they consulted with his widow to make sure that he was put in the best light in the movie. So the director called her personally and said, hey, is this okay that we use this? Is this the best way? And she was totally happy with how they depicted Chadwick in the movie.
Yes, indeed. So I'm just saying hello to everybody that came on here. And Kiana, how you doing? Says, I remember when I was Wonder Woman, for real. Halloween, what? Do tell. And Tawani says, I only watched the first 45 minutes of the Black Panther. I will have to watch it in its entirety before seeing the sequel. Yeah, I think, it should be watched. But I should also say, too, in the comic book series, it's already been written even before Chadwick died. So I'm not telling you anything. There is a woman-like character that, steps into a role of like a Black Panther. That's all I'm going to say. And let's see. Larazi says, because of the power of the U.S. and African Americans are the top 10% in Latin America. Okay. And King, I'm going to say Buck Wild because I don't want to mention your name. Well, how you doing? He says they should call this movie Mortal Come Butch. I do tell. I ain't going to tell y'all how to feel. Do tell. John Nash, how you doing? Says, it's not Marvel stories anymore. It's other. Well, I should say, as I said, Stan Lee was in the first one. So I hear a lot of people saying, oh, he didn't put a stamp of approval on it. How the hell y'all gonna say this man that put a stamp of approval on something he was in? I mean, it's like, come on now. Yeah, sometimes we gotta use some common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but but again, like we said earlier, that this franchise is owned by Disney, just like the Star Wars franchise. They are writing their own stories, so it's not necessarily a Marvel movie. Yes, I'll agree. Stan Lee put a stamp on the whole Marvel universe. There's no doubt about that. He was in all of them. I mean, he's cameos in all of them. But the fact is, Disney is going to run these franchises into the ground or whatever they're going to do because now they own them and they're going to write their own stories. So it's Disney's property now. So they're going to write it how they want to write it.
Absolutely. Don't ask me. Don't ask you what. How you doing? He says we need help to win, and I'm sorry, I don't even know what that's in regards to. Probably something Donovan said. So forgive me for that. But how you doing anyway? And John, he says, how you gonna have Black Panther without a Black Panther? Well, Chadwick Boseman died, right? I mean, I'm just asking.
Well, what I think he was saying was that, like having a Black Panther male, but aren't there female Black Panthers?
I mean, but yeah, wasn't there one in the comic book?
Yes, but what I'm saying is that even in nature, there's a male panther, there's a female panther. So, yeah.
I just think, and I'm gonna just tell you, I saw the movie. I think, unfortunately, we getting too caught up into the woman, the woman-man aspect of it all. I mean, I really think we do, but that's why I said y'all should go see the movie because y'all making up stuff at this point. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all making up stuff, and y'all allow Twitter and the internet to tell y'all what to think of this movie. I'm telling y'all are making up stuff that didn't happen. Y'all calling it the Butch verse or it's a feminist movie. Y'all didn't even see the movie. So how do you know? But anyway, let me get back.
How many of you guys know that Miss Marvel in the I forgot what series that was, where they had the one lady that everybody doesn't really like her. that was a Black woman. Miss Marvel originally was a Black, well, not originally, she was the second Miss Marvel. So, I'm waiting for that story to come out if it ever comes out.
And Thunder says, how do you like Latasha Lee? What did you think? Now, who is Latasha Lee?
Wasn't she one of the actresses in the movie?
I don't be knowing all these people names. So, Dan, you know who Latasha Lee is? Letitia Wright, that was his sister in the movie, but I don't know who Latasha Lee is. So forgive me, but if y'all could tell me, Freddie B, what's going on with you? And let's see here. Donovan says Namor was an Atlantean in the comic. Okay, and Moni, what's going on? He says, good evening to Demetra and Donovan. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Just stopping by to say hello. It's going to move on. Look at some other movies. You guys have a blessed Sunday, and you do the same, Miss Moni. And Damien says, give the Black First family the land that we're owed. Then we will have Wakandas across the divided snakes of America. I totally agree with you. And let's see here. Johnny says, a white woman made the final decision on the movie. I can look it up and post names. Okay. But I'm telling you, I saw the movie. I didn't see any feminist agenda at all. And let's see here. Brother Donnell says, I enjoyed the fact that it leads the children toward intelligence and inspires our youth toward mental elevation in all it truly displayed. I totally agree with you. I totally see that aspect, Brother Jonell. I totally see it. And I know why you said that. And John, you say Black Panther was supposed to marry Storm from X-Men via T'Challa's story. All right, so y'all speaking over my head. I don't know about all of that, but I take your word for it. It says they had a son. And Ridiculous Thoughts, how you doing? It says in the comics there was a female Black Panther for 3 issues. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. People, listen, I'm not a comic book fanatic, but I did know that. But that's what I'm saying. People are making up these alternate narratives about the movie. It's like you ain't even seen the movie.
No, it's called alternate reality. Now, Demetra, I'm a comic book hip hop head because I used to keep comics up on my wall that were like $10,000, and I just noticed that Demetra kept looking at my comics. I put them down and put them in the safe.
Yeah, you was about to get jacked, homie. Jan Michael, how you doing? You say, hey, greetings. The reason for boycott from Africa is based on Vazamazulu Credo Matawa. As for the first movie and this feature, have no personal take on it. Okay. And Victory says Stanley suffered from dementia before he died. I mean, that's probably true, but he was still in the movie nevertheless. The first one. Dusty Hotep, he says it was Captain Marvel. And so you're saying the singer? Oh, you know what? You did tell me about that last week. I haven't had a chance to listen to her, but I will. I have it in my queue. I haven't, but I will, and I will let you know. And Rashad says, Woman King, I didn't like the title or the trailer. I saw the movie, and again, y'all didn't see the movie. A lot of stuff, people ran away with the Twitter narrative to tell y'all how to think of the movie, but I don't care if you see the movie or not. I really don't. And then I ain't getting nothing from it. And Brother Frank says, speak the truth, Demetra. Love it. Thank you so much. And John, you say, number one, they don't kill Batman and make Batman a woman. They add Batwoman. They will make no more of the future Black Panther after he marries into the family. I don't know. I mean, Dusty, you say the first Captain Marvel was a Black woman.
Yeah, she had this big old afro, and she was very, very powerful. So, they need to start telling that story.
Was it a feminist agenda?
No, this was a traditional woman.
How was she a traditional woman if she was running around beating ass and saving and running all over the place? How if she's a traditional woman?
Well, no.
Wait. She wasn't a traditional woman. Why wasn't she in the kitchen baking pies?
She was. She had a job and all that other good stuff, and she was flying in the universe and stuff. She didn't really handle a lot of stuff in states. I didn't really follow her real deep, but
are you making up stuff?
No. I know a little bit about her backstory. So she was one of the most powerful superheroes in the Marvel universe.
And you mean it wasn't a feminist agenda to it?
No.
Oh, Candy Girl. If I didn't already, how you doing? I think I said hello to you, but I'll say it again. It says I saw it and there was a feminist agenda. The female characters represent the strength, and the male characters were played as a joke. I didn't see that. I mean the movie. I admit there was comedy in the movie, but there was comedy in the first movie when T'Challa was running around, was there not? There was comedy in that movie too. And so I didn't see how the men were made a joke. In fact, I don't want to give it away, so I'm not. But I did. But you know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. You may see something I didn't see, so I can't tell you what you saw and what you didn't see. But Amor, how you doing? He says that's what happens in war. Children are torn. And Victor says Monica was the second Captain Marvel, which had no ties to Miss Marvel, who is now Captain Marvel. I'll let y'all fight all that out. Marjorie, how you doing? Says Black First Family. Yes, indeed. And Jay the Informant, how you doing? And Jay Bubba, what's going on? He says, I'm not watching it. And Amor says, the Jabari leader was very logical. He wasn't the butt of jokes. Yeah, I didn't see it that way. That's all I'm saying. That how was he the butt of jokes? I didn't get that. But see, I'm one of those people. I'm not saying anything about nobody else, so don't take this personally. I'm one of those people, like when I watch stuff, I watch stuff. Like my mom was to the point, she was like, you can't just sit and watch a movie. You got to abstract things, but because I've always been built that way mentally, so I didn't see where he was made the butt of the joke. I didn't see that. John says, I did enjoy the action. I did too. Don't ask me. It says all of our superheroes have the same portions, magic or mechanics, never natural. Okay. And Tawana says, I love the Woman King. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it at all. And Tammy, what's going on with you? Says, I see the same. Some didn't watch the to the very end after the credits. A lot of these people that are in the Twitterverse and everywhere that says, I ain't gonna watch it, they didn't see the movie. So they're going off of narratives built by people who didn't see the movie, telling them not to see the movie. So make that make sense. And let's see here. As Tammy also say, awesome movie. And Don't Ask Me says, super sister. Okay. And Damon says, I stand with Donovan. Won't be seeing the movie. As for Disney, they've been programming the sheep for a cool minute. Well, Disney been programming people since the day of Mickey Mouse. I'm talking about in black and white. So this ain't nothing new. Y'all know what I mean? That the programming of people started. Why y'all think they call it programming? Why y'all think they say when the people say I'm gonna go watch my program? What you think what's being done to them? They're being programmed. So we talking about this, you know, the Disney programming people, that's been done since the first boob tube, as they called it, was put into the first living room. Anyway, yay, old Sam, how you doing? And Tammy says the male characters, oh, is that okay? I'm at the bottom. Wow. The male characters respected leadership. However, the woman did possess the power in the film. I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree. And then Yayo Sam, you're saying I don't know what you're saying. And Victor, he says the first Captain Marvel was Marvel, a Kree alien. Monica was the second, and her origins and power has no relationship with Marvel. Okay. And Don't Ask Me, you say, yep. And Monet says, I'm not into superhero movies, but I do want to see Black Adam. I heard that movie was good with The Rock. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll wait to come to streaming. I don't really love going to the movies nowadays because people talk all through the movies. Even when it was in the movies, the whole family, they bought out the whole row behind us and they had kids and eventually settled down. But even during the part of the beginning of the movie, when I said that you know, people were crying and stuff, you could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet that movie was. And it was sold out, the movie theater. And J Lock, how you doing? He says, none of this would happen if, he says, I think you remember saying, if Killmonger was alive and not let that slide. See, that's why I'm telling y'all got to watch the movie. I'm not telling y'all got to do it, but if you're going to form an opinion and talk about certain things, I think y'all should watch the movie, honestly. Let's see here. And Chig John, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, hey, folks, Disney has tricked y'all again. Never believe the hype. But Disney been tricking people, like I said, since Mickey Mouse was on the scene. And Facts Not Feeling says, if the Black Panther is a woman, it's a problem. Black Panther should be men. Create a spinoff for the female Black Panther, like Superwoman or Batman. Well, I mean, I guess I can see that. But again, if you follow the comic books, there was a Black Panther, female Black Panther. So this is not something they came up with. This was already something since, you know, the Black Panther was introduced in 1966. So this is nothing that they put in like, oh, let's put some boobs. I almost said the T word. I'm trying to be cool. Let's put some boobs on Black Panther. That would, because again, let's use logic, people. Chadwick died. If he had not, he would have been the Black Panther. So I get what y'all saying. They could have brought in somebody else. But again, Daniel, he had another franchise to do, so he wasn't in the movie. Killmonger, y'all know what happened with Killmonger. What's his name? Ubuntu or whatever his name is. He was a big mofo, so I really couldn't see him fitting off into the Black Panther outfit or whatever. He had other functions he was doing, right? So they could have introduced a new Black Panther, which they kind of did. I won't give it to you, but they kind of did introduce another one. That's all I'm going to say. So I hear what y'all saying, but I think y'all really making much to do about nothing. I think y'all making up some narratives that's just like, I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of crazy. It's entertainment. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. And again, the book or the comic is always better than the actual movie. If you haven't read the book or you haven't read the comic, when you look at the movie, it's totally different. Those of us that are James Bond fans that read the Ian Fleming books, I read every Ian Fleming book. I believe there was 14 of them. And I can guarantee you the book was better than the movie. The movie was totally different than what the book actually, or what the movie actually came out to be.
You saying the comic book was better? Are you talking about this movie?
No, I'm talking about just in entertainment in general. No matter what it is, the book is always better. And it's so sad that, again, and I'm not trying to down our people, but these are just facts. You want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book, because we don't read enough. It's one thing if you read the book and then you go to the movie and compare it. That's why for me, because I know some of the canon of some of these things, I don't want to go because I don't want my expectations to be subverted, or disappointed. So the movies are always going to be different. It's entertainment. But see, what kills me about this whole thing, Demetra, is we get so hyped up on a fictional thing, and then in the real world, we do nothing, to make ourselves better or to be as great as what we saw in the movie. You know what I mean? That's what kills me.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think there were some messages about that as well in the movie. And my sister Tammy says it's important to watch the movie to the very end because it solves the controversy over his sister being the new Black Panther. And that's what I said. But now people want to go on Twitter and watch the movie. Dial Tony says, what about Black? And so somebody said, why is it called Black Adam? I don't know. I just know that The Rock is in it, so I don't know much about it at all. I guess I should find out. I will do my research before I go. Sunlight says, how many times does she have to say that? And Spartacus, I'll say that. He says, DemetraKaye, thank you for speaking the truth. Well, I appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Thunder says, question off topic, but have you ever seen or noticed the Dems open attack on Black men? They refuse to acknowledge that when we didn't vote and it made an impact, they are blaming the impact on white women and other folks. Well, yeah, because I think that's what the talking points were, to shame Black men into going and voting more so for the Democrats than they already do. Black men vote probably more for the Democrats than anybody else, along with Black women, I should say. But yeah, they had to jump up off of that, especially in Georgia, when they saw the numbers that it was actually white people who drove it home for Kemp and Hispanics. It was like 50-50. So, Black people was heavy on the Democratic side. So they had to jump up off of that. Yes, please, if y'all could, hit the like button. I would love and appreciate you. And Dusty Hotep, he says, I would rather see Cold Tiger. I don't know who that is. Well, I'm going to take your word for it. And Marjorie says, I love all the Marvel comic books. I have a collection of them. My brother collected comic books in the 60s. I can decipher real well. I'll be watching it. Black Lightning is one of my favorites. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I'm really not into the whole Marvel and DC comics or whatever it is. I'll go though. I've seen a lot of them, but I don't follow them like a lot of people do. And Wendell, how you doing? He says sad movie. I would say so. Like
yeah, go down and cut you off.
No, there's a couple times where people cried in the movie. So
yeah, and if we're talking about Black leads and Black characters, how many of you guys? What was that show on the CW, Batwoman or whatever, when the Black girl took over the role? There was a lot of LGBTQ agenda in the series, but that thing was only on for like 3 seasons, and the Black girl took over for 2 of the seasons, and then they canceled it out of the blue because it was a big meme. We didn't support the, I'm not saying because it's Black, you got to support it. But what I'm saying is when they have Black characters in certain genres, nobody supports it. I mean, here's a woman that played an iconic Batman spinoff type character, and the series didn't even last.
Never even heard of it, to be honest with you. And Jay, how you doing? If I didn't already, it says this movie takes the queen to conspire with the colonists, which is in return caused us Black and brown people to fight against each other. The white supremacists' biggest tactic that's still working today. No, that's actually not what happened. And I don't know if you saw the movie, Jay. I'm assuming you did, but that's actually, it wasn't the Queen who did that. It wasn't the Queen at all. If you watch the movie, he says, Namor says clearly what happened. So I don't know where you're getting this narrative from, but it wasn't the Queen who caused that at all. And Dial Tony says, out of mind, really? Okay, and then Perspective Gaming, how you doing? He says, I've seen the movie and I understand we want to keep our narrative to a T, but I think we can decipher certain agendas out easy, but I think it was a good movie regardless. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, but I didn't see these big giant agendas in this movie. I mean, if there was, I'm not saying it wasn't, I'm just saying I didn't see it. And I think sometimes we do a lot sometimes, because like I said, I didn't see what I've been seeing on Twitter. And Spartacus, she says, the Black Panther franchise need to end now. I mean, it may or it may not. And then John says, sad, this is considered entertainment. I thought it was entertaining. Listen, I'm one of those people. I read a lot. I research a lot. And my daughter always has to get on me. She says, you need to sometimes take a break from reading and being like, engrossed into things that are too serious all the time. So I don't have a problem with being entertained sometimes. The problem that I have is when we can't decipher the entertainment from real life. That's the problem that I have. And J-Lock,
there's a lot, and that's a problem a lot of the white shooters have too.
A lot of people, J-Lock says, this is the second time Wakanda been attacked. First Thanos, now Namor, Tafish man, the female Black Panther was not fit to be king or take over leadership. Let me ask you, did you watch the movie? And Kenneth, how you doing? He says the best Black Panther comic book to read on the character is by Christopher Priest and Reginald Hudlin. He says, if people want to know about T'Challa. Okay, well, thank you for that. And J-Lock says Black Adam is a god that his name, that he choose to call himself. Okay. And then Johnny also say, well, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. And Marjorie, you say, we know that Disney is all about what Disney is all about, but then let's get with Disney, just like the Pacific Islanders did when they saw some discrepancies about their culture. Yeah, I didn't necessarily see any discrepancies about Black people in that movie. Now, I should say that Stan Lee, when he was making the Black Panther back in the day, he says, I wanted to make a Black superhero. As I said before, Stan Lee is the creator of, what is it? Marvel Comics, I guess. So when he made the Black Panther, he says, I wanted to make a Black superhero because I hadn't seen one. And he also says that I wanted to make sure that he was not stereotypical. He said, I wanted him to have superpowers. And I wanted his home to be away from, let's say, colonization and all the other influences. So he said that's why he wrote, Wakanda and all that other stuff, because he did not want to stereotype T'Challa. So,
right. You had, what was that guy, Power Fist and Iron Fist, the one Black brother that used to pound people with his hands. The good thing about Stan Lee is this: when he was doing comics in the 1960s, for those of you guys that don't know, he believed every culture should have some form of superhero. So if you look in the Marvel universe from the comic book stance of it, there is a superhero for everybody in the Marvel universe.
Okay. And Thunder, yes, we are having a cold front, and it's going to be cold for a very long time, which I'm not necessarily mad at, because y'all see me on here sometimes when it's hot, I'll be melting. So I welcome the cold weather right now. And Damien says, my peeps, did you see Dave Chappelle on SNL? He killed it with his opening monologue. Yes, I did. It was excellent, I might add. A lot of people are mad with him because they're saying that he doubled down on what Kanye and Kyrie said, but it all depends on which way you're looking at it, right? And Black Americans did, Mid-Atlantic Movement, how you doing? It says, I'm building some real, not a comic book. It's called The Black Nation in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia areas. Coming real soon. I would love for you to interview me. Okay, well, remind me of everything when you get done. I would love to. Brother Jonell, he said, this world is programmed and intimidated by women being powerful, but women birth man. Why be insecure? These women in this movie was not trying to be men. Many people are still in the narrative that woman's place is in the kitchen. That is not a woman's place. That's a woman's base. Woo! Says these women in this movie represented well-rounded feminine women. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Very well said. Dusty Hotep says even Black Lightning was full of feminist LGBTQ propaganda. I didn't see that movie, so I couldn't critique it at all.
No, it was a TV series on the CW.
Oh yeah, so I didn't see it. I don't know anything about it at all, so forgive me about that. And Brother Sammy, how you doing? Says I remember Dr. Africa used to highlight the feminist Eurocentric agenda of comics by having men dressing up in tights. Yeah, I could see that. And most of the superheroes had tights on, right? If not all of them, I don't know. Monet says, oh shoot. I assume that the Aztec looking guy was the new Black Panther. I'm never going to watch that unless it's on Netflix. No, I don't even know how anybody would draw that conclusion that Namor was the new Black Panther. Not at all. It didn't even allude to that he would be. So I don't know. Wilbur, how you doing? Leather and Luxury Cars, what's going on with you? And Victor, he says Black Adam was Mighty Adam before his fall from hero to anti-hero. Okay. And Don't Ask Me, he says Eddie Griffin and Michael J. White should have an Undercover Brother and Black Dynamite movie. Yes, I love Undercover Brother. Boy, that movie is hilarious. Yes, indeed. And Mike, you said Boston, Massachusetts. And then Johnny says, I thought it was entertaining too. That comment was for me. Laugh out loud. Thanks for making me feel better. Okay. My pleasure. And Dial Tone says, reading history books. Yeah. I mean, I read a lot. I Google a lot. I read books and I just do, so sometimes it's okay to go out and have fun, be entertained, but be entertained wisely. Of course, you don't want to inculcate your mind with silly things and things that could sway you in a negative direction. But yeah, it's okay sometimes. And Monet says, Bowling Green, Kentucky, it's cold. Yeah, I'd imagine. And Mike, is that what you're saying? Boston, Massachusetts, I imagine it's cold there as well. Thunder says, like in Black Lightning, his daughter was powerful and they made her LGBT. His other daughter despised him and his wife constantly went against him. Why is this the case? So yeah, I don't know anything about the series at all. So y'all have to enlighten me. I did not know that. And Marjorie says Black Lightning has the alphabet agenda and I move that out of my mind, not interested. And so do everything we see in television today. I turn the channel or skip over the parts I do like or I think you don't like, but I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff I don't watch just because I'm just not into it, right? Oh, by the way, I finished Atlanta series is over. Awesome series. I really love this last episode. That was me peeping into where I thought Donald Glover was going. It was an excellent end to the series. So Jay Lockie says, yes, I did. And I read the comics. She was not fit. Also, Wakanda got attacked by Dr. Doom. Okay. And you also say, and got killed in the book. And Jay says the princess went to visit freely and appeared to be held, but the queen sent a task force. One woman, of course, thinking the princess was abducted. Well, I think both of those are both true from what I saw. Those are both true. And Marjorie says parts I don't like. Yeah, I know what you meant. And Rain Love says, good night, everyone. Stay safe and stay safe as well. And Mr. Pie Brain says, peace, family. Okay, peace unto you. And Dusty Hotep says, if you read the books, Black Panther was the one with the brain power, but the movie, it's his sister, real crazy. Okay, well, I mean, I think we can concede that Black women are smart too, right? And Leather and Luxury Car says, I'm going to have to see this movie because I think some of us are reaching. Yeah, I'm telling you from what I saw, I think there's a lot of reaching going on too. And I think we need to get out of the habit of doing that. I think we should be wise and conscious when it comes to the material that people say is entertainment. But I think sometimes we do ourselves a disservice, especially by listening to people who, like, how the hell y'all gonna listen to somebody who ain't even seen the movie? How? And that's really like judging a book by its cover. Like, can you really do that? I don't know. I guess depending on what's on the cover. And Thunder says, have you noticed black straight men's heroes never have or use guns? And the only black man who uses guns are always the bad guys. And the only black man hero who used them was from hell, and he sold his soul spawn. I take your word for it because I haven't seen all the movies, but I take your word for it. And Miss Piebrain says, Batman and Robin wore tights, laughed my ass off. They did. Rashad says, that's a Western narrative of women. Women's spotlight and shine is in the home. Okay. I'm gonna just keep reading. And Kennedy says, Marvel has some great black superheroes in comic books like Blue Marvel. He's a black version of Superman, but Marvel don't use him that much. All right. And Marjorie says, yes, undercover brother. And Anthony, how you doing? You say, yeah. Mr. Piebrain says, Black Lightning was entertaining. And Dial Tony says, Dr. Doom will be Dr. Howard Stern next year. Really? Okay. And Anthony says, bro, no. Clapping at the end of this movie. Marvel movies, the audience clapped. They clapped in the movie I was in. I don't know, maybe with different atmospheres, but they clapped in the movie I was in. Yeah, Black Man and Robin. That was, I guess, maybe a Freudian slip. I don't know. That's odd. I'm at the end of the comment section. So that was really my take on the whole Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I guess I could answer the question. Has it been gentrified? I guess it all depends on who you ask. If you think about Wakanda being for Black people, it wasn't gentrified. I'll say it that much. I said from what I saw, the movie was the Wakanda was not gentrified. And of course, that was a little bit of play on words because, as you guys know, the people from under the sea, I forget their names, Namor and his people, they happened upon Wakanda for a reason. So it wasn't like they was like, this is some prime real estate. They were there for a reason. So if that makes any sense. So let's see here. Jay says, and as the movie began, if you guys want to talk about anything else, I don't care what it is, we got an hour left. Throw it in the comment section and we would love to discuss it. Now we're just open topic, if you will. After I read these comments, so I'll address your stuff as you guys bring it into the comment section. Let's see here. Jay says, and as the movie began, the colonists were attacking, trying to take the resources. They should have taken them out instead of bringing them back to the UN meeting. Because I don't want to really give it away. Young, handsome 34, how you doing? He says, men and women I know who've seen this trash said there was a clear agenda to invert God's natural order and place the Black woman on top of the Black man, just like a woman, King and Harriet. That whoever, I don't know what movie they was watching. Did you, young, handsome, I like that too, by the way. Did you see this movie? Because I didn't see that at all. And if I, was a spoiler type of person, I would tell you that that's not what I saw. That's not what happened in this movie at all. Never once was the Black woman put above the Black man. Not one time in this movie.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why is it that men in general come to that conclusion in general that it's a feminist movie or it's some kind of plot? Would you say it's because of the woman king thing that kind of crossed over to this movie possibly? Why is it that would be the first thing a lot of Black men would say in regards to these type of movies that have strong lead female characters?
I'm going to put this up. Brother Jonelle says, why don't we do this to Superman or Thor? Black Panther is subjected, are suspicious without mercy when it's just entertainment. Yeah, we breaking on down to a science, right? Oh, they put the Black woman over the Black man. And I was like, what movie y'all watching? Because to answer your question though, Donovan, I will say this. I think especially now that we have the divestors, and then you have the manosphere, and then you have this thing that's come up, RIP to Kevin Samuels, the modern and the traditional woman, and so I think that has a lot to do with it, in that Black women, or even women in general, should not be in any positions of power. But I know Brother Jonelle and Brother Samuel could tell y'all, in the nation, brother. Dr. Ava Muhammad she had a very high position in the nation. She was the first, if I'm not mistaken, female national spokesman for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He at her Jananza said she was far more of a soldier than a lot of these, ministers or whatever these brothers I have. He says I know for a fact that she would never sell me out, and she was my toughest and most staunch, strongest defender. That's the Nation of Islam saying that about a woman. So I think we've gotten to the point, I hate to say it, forgive me, y'all, it's silly season to where anytime y'all see, and I'm saying y'all in general, I'm not saying y'all, but anytime y'all see a woman that's in any position of being able to say something to a man, it's like, oh, y'all putting the woman over the man. This is out of order. And it's like, y'all know y'all came from a woman, right? What would happen if that woman was weak? That pushed you out of her. If it wasn't for a woman, you wouldn't be here. So that's kind of where I think it's coming from. Like we don't see women as smart and having any power. Women are heads of nations all over. Hell, Queen Elizabeth that just died on the damn throne. She was not only a head of England, but many nations. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. Y'all tell me. But I hope that answers your question, Donovan. All right, so let's get back into these comments. So Donnie Shannon said Atlantis. Yes. It was. I'm sorry. So they're from Atlantis. And Original Man 50, how you doing? He says Tolakan. So is that kind of the same thing? Because I saw both words, Atlantis and Tolakan. And Anthony says they stole this one. I hope they can clean it up with a multiverse scroll storyline. This was clearly a Namor movie. I didn't see it that it was a Namor movie. I saw that Namor was in the movie. Was Namor a big part of the movie? Yes, but I didn't see it as it was his movie. Now that I didn't see. But then again, different people are going to see things. And I'm sorry if I'm freezing up. Y'all, I don't know why I'm doing that. So forgive me. It's my Wi-Fi for whatever reason. And Sunlight says, oh my God, why so much gender warring? Yes, that's what I want to know as well. Why are we doing that? I really don't understand that whole, they made the woman more important type of thing. And so again, I don't know why I'm freezing. Hopefully, y'all can hear me.
Yeah, no, you're doing fine. You're freezing up a little bit.
Me, but when I watch it back, I can see my signal is kind of weak. It'll come back. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, well, it's at least you don't have Spectrum. But here's the sad thing, and I know a lot of ladies aren't going to agree with me with this, but all this gender war stuff, it's bad on both sides. And, I guess a lot of men, at least these newfangled men now, these younger men are coming up and they're just tired of you don't need no man, be independent. All of this is there's much blame to go on both sides. And this is where we're at now today, where we don't trust each other. Everybody has something to say about the other group. Black men ain't this. Women are 304s, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of blame on both sides. And that's something that I think the colonizer put between us to also cause problems within our group. That's what I'm saying. That's why, it's very difficult. I'm not going to say we can't come together. It's very difficult to come together when you've got generations of just mistrust on both sides.
Yes, indeed. And again, I'm sorry that I am freezing up. I don't know why it's doing that, but hopefully y'all can hear me. All right. And so let's see here. And Spartacus says, stop it. Why would or should we allow fictional characters to divide Black men and women? You know what? I totally love that. And that's exactly what's going on. It's like it's a movie. I mean, it really is. And I think we be doing too much sometimes by trying to just, it reminds me of, it was the characters on Living Color and Boomerang, where, Martin's character was like, the black ball and the white ball. That I get it. Sometimes that is true. I'm not saying it's not, but it's like, I didn't see all that in this movie. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I needed to wipe my glasses off. And Sunlight, you say ridiculous. And Thunder, you says, Will Smith was not a good guy in the movie Suicide Squad. He was an anti-hero like Deadpool. Bloodshot was not a hero either, okay? Bogani, what's going on with you? And Mansa Musa, how you doing? Says the movie was good. And QT, how you doing? I know I said it before. He said, because a strong Black woman cannot be feminine to them if we aren't beaten down broken and destitute, then we're masculine. I have been told that I'm masculine because I brought a house. Yeah, see, now that's ridiculous. And I've actually heard somebody say that before. And Sunlight says, spot on, Demetra. Thank you. And LGBT, Hebrew Israelites, transgender sex. How you doing? He says, will the Nation of Islam help Kanye West? If y'all listen to Farrakhan, he spoke on it. Now, what they're planning to do, I don't know. He didn't say anything about that. But Farrakhan spoke on it the other day. You can find it all over the internet. And QT says, some black men are just nasty and very misogynistic. Ooh. Wilbur says, Zuri didn't become the warrior until she needed to. Plus, the mid-credit fixes the male lead thing. At least Marvel's way of fixing it. I think I know what you're talking about. But yes, I totally agree with the first part of it. And QT says, no matter what it is, I don't know why my thing is freezing up. I might have to go out and come back in. It's tripping. Let's see here. Rashad says, Demetra, because it's the natural order. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's not that natural order, but listen, I tell y'all all the time about my mom and my father. I grew up watching my mom be a traditional woman, but don't you ever mistake my mama for being weak. My mom was very educated. My mom was the author of several books. My mother was a nurse, a licensed nurse. And before she married my father, she was in Connecticut. My mom had a full ride scholarship to Clark Atlanta. I say all of that to say, my daddy wouldn't have married no weak woman. It takes a woman to be a good woman to be able to man a household and raise intelligent children. And all of my siblings are intelligent. And I credit that to, obviously, my dad. And I have a stepdad as well. And my mom, but my mom was the man of the helm of the ship of the house. So I think we need to get out of the idea that because a woman is asserting herself or contributing ideas and things that she's above the man. I mean, I think that's part of the problem that we have in our society as well. So I don't know. QT says they don't even believe that. They will tell you that black men do not need us for anything, not even childbirth. Dalton says 2 humans, 1 child. Jan Michael says, hey, Mr. Donovan, Packers are closing the gap. Smile. Uh-oh. And Spartacus says, to answer the question, stand up black men are protective of real patriarchal culture in black society. Okay, I could dig it. And Original Man 50 says, yep. And QT says Rashad. So he's talking to Rashad. And Sunlight says Tupac called it over 20 years ago. Save your breath, Demetra. Don't Ask Me says, I thought the Black Panther was passed down from father to son, man throughout of Black Panther's history. That is true. But if the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, died and he didn't have any more sons and he had a daughter, well, I mean, who was he going to pass it to? I'm just asking. And Only Pamela's Way, how you doing? Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Mansa Musa. He says, you are glowing. Your hair looks nice. Thank you so much. Am I freezing, y'all? Because like I said, my internet is really tripping. And Jay says, I think the women held it down as the real women did during the civil rights movement. They were respectful toward the men. They were scientists, computer engineers, warriors. It was no gender war. Yeah, I didn't see that. So that's why I'm saying, why are we making it that Dial Tony says 2 humans, 1 cut? And Bogani says that is a symptom of the actual problem, Donovan. And Marjorie says, I would love to see all of the strongest Black lead actors and actresses in some powerful Black Marvel movie where they are heroes. Halle Berry as Storm, Angela Bassett as Batwoman, etc. Ooh. And QT, he says it's bad on both sides, just like racism, but it was started because of the abuse. Once upon a time, we would let men, quote unquote, our grandmothers were not necessarily happily married. They were stuck. And, let me go ahead and address that about our grandmothers. Yes, we hear that narrative a lot. Oh, well, do what your grandmamas did. Do what your great-grandmamas did. Is like, y'all assume that grandmama didn't go through some stuff either. But like to your point, some of them, I don't want to say a lot of them, some of them were stuck because they were like, all right, I'm traditional. My husband's making all the money. I don't have any skills or anything outside of the home. So depending on what they went through, yeah, they were stuck. But I think they also understood that, yeah, there's some problems here, but we all we got. We gonna weather the storm. Anybody who's been together for a long time will tell you, hey, it was rocky for a while there, but we just decided that we were better together, and we didn't know how to quit like people quit today. You know what I mean?
Right. And then
here's right back, Donovan.
Yeah, and then here's my thing with that. You've got a lot of women that espouse what they heard their grandmama or their aunt tell them, even though they've never been through that stuff themselves. And it's kind of crazy to me because it's like, I'll hear young women say, oh, men ain't shit, men ain't this, men ain't that. But the point is this, I would ask them, well, have you been in an abusive relationship? No. Then what are you talking about? You know, they're telling you to, it's kind of like telling you what to look out for. But unfortunately, a lot of our older women aren't telling our younger women to look out for this and to do this. This thing about we don't need no man, you could do it on your own. That is not true because winter is here right now. That is not true. We need each other. I'm seeing more and more single mothers being put out in the street right here in Southern California than I see any other group. You guys answer this no matter where you're at in the United States. Tell me how many Black men and women that are married that are being thrown out in the street. It's almost non-existent. But the point is this, what I'm basically trying to say is you have a group of young women that have heard this narrative, right? And they're taking it to heart like as if it's happened and now they're guarded. But it never actually happened to them. You know, and I think that's the sad thing because they've been given the wrong information or they're processing that information wrong. So that's, I think, is the problem.
All right, so let me address this. And Kennedy says, I think it's an agenda of emasculation of Black men is the issue that some Black men are having with Wakanda Forever. So you're talking about emasculation of the Black man, like outside of the movie? Is that what you're referring to? Okay. And let's see here. And don't ask me. It says, is it a coincidence that the Black Panther sits down now? I don't know nothing about that now. And Don says, in the movie, it was the other one in the movie for the sake of Aquaman. Okay. And Bogani says, if you can't love yourself, you can't love anything or anyone else. I totally agree with you. Like you said a mouthful. No Hope Family Investments LLC. How you doing? Says the problem is these movies shape the minds of our children. Yes, but if you follow me for some time now, I always say nothing should be more influential to your children than you. So, and I know you agree with me. And Original Man 50, thank you so much for the donation. You say Suri was forced to become the warrior for her people and save her nation. She stepped up along with the Riri and the Jabari tribe. Yes, absolutely. And thank you once again for that. I don't know what is going on with my internet. It is really set tripping right now, but it's all right. Y'all can hear me. And Spartacus says the agenda of division may be propaganda, publicity stunts. Donovan, can you see me on YouTube from your end?
Yes, I can see it. I think I figured out what your problem is. Everybody's watching the Dallas Cowboys over there.
And because they sucking all the energy out of this live stream.
Right,
Is that what
exactly.
Got you. All right, and so Spartacus, she says the agenda of division may be propaganda, publicity stunts. Okay, it could be. And Brother Jonelle says, we saw more female dominance and feminism in Wonder Woman, but there was crickets on that fact. Queen Dr. Ava Muhammad was the first minister of a mosque, among other great things and titles she held, from lawyer to mother, and minister called her a star. Yes, a star of God. No women in position should make us insecure, especially when our women ruled with us in Africa and other places. In fact, there are men statues throughout the world with our women sitting right next to us in power. You said a word, brother. Yes, you did. And Dial Tony said you bought a house, so you're referring to somebody else. And Marjorie says, and yes, stop the division. Just love each other. Why are we doing that anyway? Whatever spotlight we're in. I totally agree. And John says, our women need to be leading us as well as men. Let's not be misogynistic. It's called divide and conquer. I have never disagreed with Miss Diva D until today. The movie accomplished its goal. I can I ask you, how did it accomplish its goal if most that are complaining about the movie didn't see the movie? I mean, because I'm one of those people, as they say in the nation, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So are you critiquing something you didn't see? I'm not saying you, because maybe you've seen it, but are people critiquing something they didn't see? Or are they critiquing something they saw? Because you know how you gonna critique something you didn't see? That's like your doctor saying, well, I ain't never did no brain surgery. I saw somebody do it. So you gonna be all right. Just take my word for it. What you're going to do is get your black ass up from the table before they stick the needle in you and say, no, I'm good. I need somebody who actually know what they doing, not somebody who saw somebody who may think they know what they're doing, because how do I know that person that they saw didn't see somebody do it and then that person didn't see somebody do it? So again, I think you should see the movie before you say it's accomplished its goal, if you will. I don't know. Let's see here. And Only Panelist Way says it's really tiring with all the black back and forth stuff. It's low vibrational, and I'm just more focused on the economics of the black community to bicker about stuff like that. Yeah, and as always on this show, we try to really have a conversation to learn. So I hope it doesn't come off as bickering, and if it does, my apologies. And Bogani says men must understand we are feminine energy with a masculine expression. Well, do tell. And QT says, Pop still drank. He abused her and sometimes even the children. He was bringing babies home. He had with his mistress. Back then, they would tell us men will be men and let it be. Yeah, that's true. And I don't know how much of that has actually changed, And then there'll be some men who say, well, Gloda Dean left me with all the kids too while she was up in the juke joint, So I don't think anything has really changed. I just think it's gotten amplified because we have social media and all those things to really talk about it. I think. And Sugar Honey Iced Tea, how you doing? He says it fixes T'Challa, quote unquote. Junior will be. I ain't gonna read that. I ain't gonna read. Let's see. I'm gonna let them read. I don't want to give you.
Wait. Junior. What? T'Challa had a child out of wedlock?
You stupid.
What?
Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I ain't gonna read it because I don't want to give any spoilers. But if they want to read it, I'll let them read it. And Bagani, says the concept of gender stereotypes and societal defining characteristics are man-made and pale-faced at that, which means it's not real. I would agree with you on that. And Brother Jonell says a nation can rise no higher than its woman. Quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Absolutely. Who y'all think teaching these children? How can a nation rise if you don't have a woman that knows her stuff at the house and who is not weak and who is strong and all of the above? It's the women.
Right. Okay. Right now in the modern age, we need these women to stop teaching because thoughtism is not nothing to teach. These kids are learning absolutely nothing now with these new city girl type mothers.
But that's the thing, no. And I'm gonna get to these comments. I swear I'm gonna get to all of them. But I feel like I need to challenge that only because yes, there are city girl mamas out there. There's been city girl mamas forever. Okay. But I don't want to leave that on the table because it ain't all black women. I'm talking about black women. I ain't concerned with other women. And all black women and with children aren't running around acting like city girls. That's
exactly. And that's my point. That's my point. Yeah. And they're not all black men are abusive and narcissistic and all that other stuff.
That.
No. Let me finish. We're talking about the narrative that black men get.
But listen, y'all would never, ever, ever, never come on this show and hear me talk bad about black men or black women. I don't do that because I see a lot of people do that. But what I will do is, to the best of my ability, tell the truth about both. I am a black woman. I'm not sitting up here from a point of view of I'm perfect. I ain't never made no mistakes. Now, I ain't never cheated. I won't say that right now. But I ain't never made I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm 51 years old. Hell, I would think I've made a lot of mistakes. But I'm speaking from my experiences, and I'm always speaking from a point of black unity. The black man and the black woman need to be together if we are going to save our people, period. So I just want to make that, put that out there. QT says, we're not trying to be above the man. What we're not trying to do is live in the street when he can carry the family. We'll go on and take our over to save us all. And that is true in some cases as well. It's like most sisters I talk to, like, I ain't trying to be in control. I want a man to come on in and do what he got to do. I don't know no women that say, shoot, I don't need no man. I don't know any women like that. I'm just telling you, I don't. And Greta Lee, how you doing? It says, yes, it was gentrified. Okay. And Marjorie says, DemetraKaye, my mom as well. Yeah. I mean, you have to have smart women to man a household. And JR, how you doing? It says he does have a son. Okay, well, and I think it already said that in the comic book as well, if I'm not mistaken somewhere. I don't know. Don't quote me. And QT says, I was forced into head of household. I never wanted the role, but I wanted homelessness, not to be homeless even more so. So yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you on that. Sugar honey iced tea. He says Zuri is a Black Panther in the comics. So yeah, that is true. And Rashad says, where did all this divisive narrative come from? I just made a statement. A gender war was not my intention. No, nobody's saying that about you at all. No, we're just having a conversation. So please do not mistake that at all. We're just having a conversation. Please, we never want anybody to take anything personal. It is all love. And if I have offended you, I am sorry. And Original Man, thank you again for the donation. He said T'Challa's got an heir, so it wasn't bad. So I don't think that was a secret. I hope that wasn't a secret. But yeah, so, see it if you want to. And if you don't, that's fine too. And Bogani, you says women were the first warriors. Okay. Don't ask me. You says at the end of the day, it's just a movie, but there are undertones. Yeah, I'm not going to deny it. And Brother Jonelle says the spot was given to the female in the movie in her manner. She earned it. I totally agree with you. And Michael, how you doing? He says, sorry to be late. Nope, you are right on time. And Jay says that they understood family units and unity. Yep, back then they did. They was like, hey, we're going to make it work. He ain't perfect. She ain't perfect. But we got all these kids. Back then they had like 10, 15, 20 kids. So back then it was like, yeah, I want to kill him sometimes. Sometimes I want to put, spike his oatmeal. But I better not because I need him, I guess. And Marjorie says, say that, Democrat. So you're talking about Donovan. And our Original Man says, Cameron Samuels did not lie. Yeah, I mean, he was very razor blades and lemon juice. But especially toward the end, I didn't agree with a lot of things that Kevin said, but I liked Kevin Samuels more so toward the end because I saw that he was coming a little bit more full circle. Because as I said, and as everybody else says, Kevin Samuels, he was razor blades and lemon juice for the men first. And then when he started talking about the women, that's when he got notoriety. So, there is that. And Michael says, Donovan, he says, I saw both of you on the African Diaspora News channel. You guys gave good analysis. Thank you so much. QT says, yes, women need men and men need women, but we don't have to be married to each other. That is misogynistic. Well, in this place we call America, because there are certain laws, you should be married to one another, unless you have like an ironclad will, living trust, and all of that. You should be married. I tell y'all this about my daughter. My daughter is almost 30, and she's not married, and she does not have children. And I say this all the time when people ask me, you don't have any grandchildren? I said, why y'all keep asking me about grandchildren before y'all asking me about a son-in-law? I didn't raise my daughter to be out there in no shade. Listen, I didn't raise my daughter to do what I did. Let's just put it out there. Had my daughter when I was 21. I did not marry her father. And because I was young, was a lot of nonsense, and he was young. But I raised her not to do what I did. I raised my daughter, hey, you bring home a son-in-law first before you get to popping out kids. Because I don't want that for you. It's easier if y'all can both raise your children. I'm done raising children. So I don't want to raise a child with you. I want to be grandee, because that's what my grandkids want. I want to be grandee. I don't want to be mama helping you raise the kids, right? So I say all that to say, I think that we should be married. I would like for my daughter to be married before she has any children with any man.
Yeah, and I would like to jump on top of that in the narrative. We need to stop with that narrative, like, I don't need to be married. There's benefits to being married. And, and unfortunately, in our community, we are so ignorant in regards to benefits of being married or being like I was in the military. Do you know that Black people are the least likely to use their military benefits? But yet you see a young white guy that lived down the street from you and pretty much in the same neighborhood. He went to the Marine Corps or the Army just like you did, but yet he's got his young wife and they went and bought a starter home because the government is backing them up because of their military benefits, or they're starting a business like a lot of these Hispanics are doing. They're joining the military, getting the benefits out of it, starting businesses based on being backed up by the military. Black people go in there and do 4 or 5 years and whatever, come out and then go right back on the block, which they were trying to escape from the very beginning. But so, we need to stop with this narrative, like marriage is a bad thing. It is a good thing. There are certain tax breaks you don't get if you're not married. So, we need to stop doing that because, like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but it's our ignorance of it. Marriage is a good thing. When a man, the Bible says, and I'm not a religious person, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. What woman out there, when you find the right man, doesn't want to be taken care of? I'm a traditional man, and Demetra will tell you, any woman that ends up with me, anything she brings to the table is extra. I won't even care.
Absolutely. So Spartacus says, I'm over 50. So, and you guys are saying my streaming is fine. Okay, thank you. It looks like I'm behind a little bit. It says, I'm over 50. So we were grateful for Cooley High, Claudine, Shaft. Those were big deals then. Now we have more, but produce less quality. I guess I could see that. I mean, I'm old enough to have watched Cooley High, Claudine, and Shaft. Not quite as old enough to like watch, I'm 51. Let's put it that way. Some people argue with those too, as if those movies were actually quality. Now, it was good TV, but was it the content quality? I think some people had issue with that, the whole blaxploitation era, but I get where you're going with that. Leather and Luxury Car just says, if I wasn't so shy, I would come on here and tell my story being adopted. Then maybe some of us would understand how alone we really are. We need to stick together. Absolutely. Well, one day when you're not shy, just let us know. And Sooty Man, you say, we depend too much on others to write about and tell our stories. Just by throwing in a Black director and cast don't mean that it is for us if it is controlled by those folks. Well, that is true. So, I mean, let's get behind our Black our filmmakers and people who make movies for us. A perfect example was that of Nate Parker. He made Birth of a Nation, and that movie tanked. Now, a lot of Black women, I won't say all Black women, but a lot of Black women helped that happen, unfortunately. But that was a movie we all should have saw. So why didn't we go see that and pack the theaters out? We didn't do that. So I mean, I agree with you. Let's see here. And I'm just gonna skip down a little bit. Young Rashad says, when it comes to family staying together, I'm a very big supporter. Same here. And Young Handsome, he says, how the hell do you know that most who is criticizing ain't seen the movie? I'm just going off of what people are saying here that didn't see the movies. A lot of people on this thread here are saying they didn't see the movie. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. I hope I'm clear about that. And Tawana says, lately, Twitter seems to be shaping the hearts and minds of our people. Twitter spaces are filling people's minds with a lot of negativity. Yeah, I don't really go into those spaces at all. I'm one of those people, I try to abstain from a lot of things because I like to kind of form my own opinion. So I don't even really do Twitter spaces at all. People will invite me, but I'm like, I don't know, let's see. John says, point taken. I did see the movie Family Night. Okay, so you did see the movie. And Kennedy says, and I have not seen the movie, but I could be reaching or overreaching about subliminal messages. Wakanda Forever might or might not be, might not have. Okay. And let's see. Marjorie says, even in the Bible, women save the kingdoms from destruction. Deborah, the judge, Esther, Queen Sheba. He says the list goes on. Black men and Black women by their sides dying even during wars in Africa. That is true. Because a lot of people say that women, didn't really have a place in the Bible. And you're absolutely right about that of Deborah. JR says, oh, my bad. I thought most people here have seen the movie. No, I would venture to say most people here, from what I can kind of gauge on the comment section, have not seen the movie, Donovan included. And yes, and so you say you have seen it. Only Pamela's Way says, no, Sister Demetra, I don't mean you. It's just our people should focus on the economics of Black communities instead of bickering about stuff that is not helping. I totally agree with you. And QT says, I don't think much has changed either. However, one of the narratives of the desires of the manosphere is that they want things to go back to the way they were. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But the thing is, what I think the manosphere, and I hear a lot of people in the manosphere, men in the manosphere, they're not addressing is back then, the men took care of the women. The women stayed home. They wasn't busting the hustle. The man brought all the bacon home, and the woman can afford to, stay home, make the house a home, and all that other stuff. So I think that needs to be talked about as well. And you also say, as if things were great in the past, they sound like the white supremacists when they talk about making America great again. Great for who? Oh my goodness. Original Man says, thank you, brother. I never abused Black women, yet we get painted with a broad brush. And as I hope y'all heard what I said, I don't participate in those narratives at all. And let's see, Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, he says, you guys lost my interest. I don't know you guys anymore. Why? Why do you say that? And QT says, exactly, the biggest issue I have with this gender war is none of them want to be honest. Not the women, not the men. And Neo Beta, how you doing? Says Black First Family. How's it going? It is going swell. And Johnny says, Thoughtism, laugh out loud. Donovan need to be the new Kevin. You don't look 51. Black don't crack. And Brother Jonelle says, it's not even intelligent to limit our women, especially when women birth our children. Our future city girls are a product of a degraded mind. Niggas are a product of a degraded mind. Elevate the mind, you will elevate the product. We must come up from a degraded state of mind, both men and women. I love it. Channel Zero, how you doing? It says, looking good in that X-Clan talk, especially for 51. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know. I just felt really good about that day. So I said, let me dance. And yeah, thank you. Only Pamela Way says, I'm 100% for Black families staying together, Black men and women getting married and having beautiful Black babies. Me too. Marjorie says, these children today know the difference. I've seen children at schools where I worked at telling their moms to dress right. Don't wear your favorite clubbing outfit. Don't embarrass me. Yes, indeed. And it's sad that women have to be told that. Yeah, don't go to school looking like that. I mean, you put some clothes on, don't go anywhere like that for that matter. Donovan says the color purple was the worst thing that ever happened to the depiction of Black men within the Black community.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is, it seems to me when I was around that age in 1984, we were about 14 years old or whatever, Danny Glover gave such a great performance in that movie that women still hate this man to this very day. That shows that he was a very good actor. But what I mean was, it seems to me that's when I really started hearing that narrative as a young kid, that Black men ain't shit. This ain't that. I would hear my mom's friends talk about it and all this other stuff. Like this movie was real. And maybe in some of our parents' situation, it was. But in general, all men are not Mr. from The Color Purple. It's a movie. And maybe there's some factual things to it. But I can say for myself, in my family, I don't know of any abusive men. I have 16 uncles on my dad's side. I have at least 5 uncles on my mom's side. I don't know any abusive men. My grandfathers, from my knowledge, weren't abusive in that manner. And it's like they take this narrative and they run with it. And it seems like a lot of them, just, this movie and men, just this narrative of just writing Black men terribly. I stopped watching Tyler Perry movies because I noticed that in all of his movies, men were the lowest of the low. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So there, if you guys want to believe it or not, there is a narrative out there. And what kills me is you can have that narrative if that is actually going on. But if you ask the next generation, ain't none of them been in abusive relationships. How could you be? Well, they've been in abusive relationships. But what I'm saying is, when I say about abuse, these women are so liberated nowadays, you don't have to tolerate that abuse. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that they're victims or anything like that, but in the modern age, women do not have to put up with that type of abuse, period.
You said The Color Purple, and I'm paraphrasing because let me go back because I want to make sure I'm right in what I'm saying. Color Purple was the worst thing that ever happened to the depiction of Black men within the Black community.
Yes, correct.
Even more so than slavery?
Well, we know slavery is bad. What I'm talking about is the depiction of this thing, to where this narrative of black men ain't shit really started to kick off. It seemed to me, this is my opinion, and not Demetra's my opinion, is that's when I started hearing black men ain't this, black men ain't that. Before that, I didn't hear that too much of anything. That's what I'm saying. It seems to me that movie was a catalyst of what these movies started coming out and depicting black men.
Somebody mentioned Claudine. That wasn't a horrible depiction of a black man?
Absolutely. I'm talking abusively.
It wasn't abusive to leave a woman with all those kids. I forget his name. James Earl Jones' character in the movie. He had kids. He wasn't taking care of. Child support was chasing him around. And then when it got too hot and heavy with Claudine, he left her. That wasn't a bad depiction of black men.
Absolutely.
That wasn't abusive.
Right. But what did I say, though? Are you not listening? I said when I was 14, when Color Purple came out, that's when I started hearing it more so about black men being abusive and narcissistic and all this other stuff. They made it. I mean, it seemed to me that every man was a mister. You know what I mean? And that's when I started hearing my aunts and older women start talking about men ain't shit and all this other stuff. And then you start hearing younger women repeating it.
Superfly. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. There's a whole lot of movies out there depicting black men in a horrible light. Now, I'm not defending Color Purple, so please don't just mistake me in that but to say that the Color Purple was the worst depiction of black men is like, come on, man, we could be here forever saying that the Color Purple was actually, somewhere in the middle of a lot of movies that were about black men.
Yeah, no. This is my opinion. To me, it was the worst. To me. I don't speak for everybody else. I only speak for Donovan Saadiq.
Got you. All right. So let me go ahead and hello, Stanley. Let me go ahead and skip down a little bit. I know I'm behind. I want to read people who have not been here. Express 60 NH. How you doing? He says Black First. Yes, indeed. Brother Samuel says, if you listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in his defense of Kyrie and Ye, he warned us against beating up on our own, whom we should see as free. We see as free, but in reality are not free. The enemy always set up agendas for us to fight each other. If you truly know better, why not work to find the solution to problems? We should not fight each other over these gender wars. I hope I'm making sense. It says I've been sick for 2 days. Oh no. Well, speedy recovery to you. No, you're making absolute sense. And we should not make this a gender war. We shouldn't make anything a gender war because again, we need each other. But I totally agree with you. Stanley, you say that's like a woman saying all women don't want children. Yeah, right. Okay. Let me catch up because I know I'm a little bit behind. And Vulcan 2054, how you doing? And who else came on here? Tico, I hope I said that right. Says Hebrew 13:4. Marriage is honorable and all, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. That's what the book says. And UFO Kamikaze, I hope I said that right. It says have not seen it yet. Okay. Thunder says Jim Crow era, a single black woman with children with no EBT and no Section 8 in Jim Crow. This sounds like a horror story. This is why the black family was together and the black community was better then. Yeah, they had each other. They didn't have a whole bunch of resources and stuff to fall back on. But like you said, the infusion of the EBT card, and that really came through with the FDR administration with the New Deal and all of that. Kennedy says Isaiah Washington has a movie about a Bass Reeves called Corsicana. Check it out. I think I heard about that. I would like to check that out. And Stanley says, I applaud my people for not making Marvel another billion during inflation. Okay. And Michael says, Donovan, I understand that Trump is key to uplifting black people. Sooty Van, you say, we need to teach our children better not to rush to shack up with someone. Getting to really know, get to know the person is key. Learn about each other's spending habits, capabilities, and view on raising children. I totally agree with you. Ashonda, how you doing? And Vulcan, he says, I've seen the movie and it's okay for what it's worth. Okay. And Michael says, Demetra, I say that because you guys are getting too bold with Republicans destroying people with disabilities and spending so much money on the military. I mean, well, what can we do about it? Well, what can we do about it? Unity is the key. When we got to unify first, I mean, we can't stop the Republicans or anybody for that matter from spending too much money on the military, but I get what you're going. And Donnie says, I don't do divorce. That's why I never been married. So is that the antidote? Will you ever be married? I'm curious. And don't ask me. Oh, thank you so much. You say you look great, Demetra. It seems most of the time when we have an actor, actress in power roles, they are in interracial relationships. So a lot of us don't bother. I can see that. And QT says, sadly, the color purple has happened to many of us. That has happened in my family. Hell, it happened to me. I lived it. Oof. He said, and that was not in the 1920s either. Yeah, the color purple was to me, it was a gruesome depiction of a lot of things, you know. And Thundy says a lot of the women who have a problem with the Black nuclear family most likely are some renegades, and that's fine. Just don't stop the rest of us who want to recreate the good things about your history. I totally agree with you. Wilbur says, I hate the color purple. It's my wife's favorite movie. I mean, there's a lot of people's favorite movie. I mean, come on, most Black people born, you know, I don't know, at my age and older, they can recite the movie, right? It's like we consider it Black trivia. And LS, how you doing? It says, damn it. And let's see. QT says, see, it's this dishonesty I'm talking about. This abuse is happening. Kevin Samuels actually said that abuse doesn't happen. Well, I mean, come on now. We know that abuse does happen. That was, I know what you're talking about. That was very silly for him to say it. The abuse happens every day, and not just to men, but it happens, I mean, to women, it happens to men too. I mean, abuse is everywhere. And Takoa, he says, movies are movies. Most of them are not based on a true story. Yeah, they have a little bit, but not mostly, right? And Marjorie says, right, Donovan. And QT says, he said depiction as if it's propaganda. Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, you guys dropped your pockets on the floor. Both of you got punked on MTV. What? And Sheldon, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. You say, Rip Chadwick, but T'Challa needs a recast. It doesn't feel right. And did you see the movie? Because I think that's kind of where they're going with it. I don't want to give it away, you know, in case you guys want to see it. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit closed mouth about that, but not about everything else. But thank you so much. Appreciate you. And Sunlight says, Demetra, you read my mind, Claudine. Hello, Marshawn, Disney Diva, long time no see. You say my face. I know everybody say my face be doing the most. Takoa, he says, when he was 14, not 50. I heard him. I heard him. Marjorie says, I was born when pimping was the game and put that thing on the corner, beat her into submission and get that bag. See? And they put that into movies. The Mac, right? Goldie. QT says, there are women living that life today. And Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, I like you, make you guys angry regarding politics. Oh, you ain't gonna make me angry. I got emotional intelligence. I ain't gonna get mad on here. QT says,
you can't make somebody angry that already knows what's going on. You can't do it.
You could try it. I'll give it your best shot. Yes, indeed. And Common Man 80, how you doing? Says, The Color Purple was a movie about Black men written by white men. Actually, the movie was written by Alice Walker, a Black woman. Now, of course, Steven Spielberg and all them, they produced and directed the movie. So yeah, that was her book though. I read The Color Purple. Wasn't that much far off from the movie. I think it was a horrible depiction of Black men, Black women. I mean, it was just a very dark movie. They put some comedy in there, but honestly, the movie was a very dark, gruesome movie, if you ask me. Every time I watch certain scenes, I'm like, you know.
Yeah, and then think of the movie Beloved. That was a dark movie as well. When they did that one, so.
Yep, the Mac Sunlight, absolutely. And John says, Black men backing you, Donovan, the real ones. Okay, so he said, y'all got an army. Bring it. Stanley says, I'm 44. Donovan is right about how The Color Purple affected women's mind back then. Yeah, you know what? Y'all mamas was watching that movie. I remember when my mama and my grandmama went to the movies. I remember it was yesterday. RIP to both of them. I remember when they went and saw that movie. I couldn't have been no more than 12 when they went and saw that movie. I don't ever remember my mama, who was married, my grandmama, who was married, coming back affected, talking about y'all just like Mister. You know, I'm going there. I'm gonna make you want some lemonade. You want some lemonade, huh? I didn't. So how are there some women that probably thought, woo, shoot, yeah, but yeah, come on now, come on. Yeah, I think y'all stretching the truth.
No. You know, I'm have to disagree with you on that. You know, if you talk to a lot of people around when that movie came out, that's if you really look at it, that's when that narrative really took hold, because people were really believing. And I'm very sure it went on, just like QT said, it does happen. But see, the problem, and this is it seems like you women don't want to hear what we're saying. What we're saying is you can't paintbrush all men as a mister. We're not. That's what we're saying. And then
who was doing that though? Who's painting all men as a mister?
No, I'm saying if that's what they're doing, that like all men ain't shit. Girl, you get your own, you know, all that. No. So what we're saying is basically that's when that kind of attitude started taking place. You know, we're all in agreement. That movie was very pivotal and it showed some very brutal things on both sides. But wait, from that movie, or even from that time, 1984 till now, show me the narrative where black men are saying black women ain't shit.
I see it all day long on Twitter. That the dude that y'all follow, Dennis Sperling, who I don't care. Y'all can go back and tell him I said it. He is dusty. I heard him call a woman today on something somebody put on Twitter. I heard he called a woman a bitch twice. Now I'm gonna say this: I ain't watch all the Kevin Samuels stuff, but one thing I will say is, I personally, I'm not saying he never has. I never heard Kevin Samuels call a woman a bitch. Right. Never. So
yeah, I don't know who the Sperling guy is.
He says that he was Kevin Samuels' best friend. He was the one that was the spokesman for Kevin Samuels. He is hijacking his stuff and giving it a black eye, if you ask me. But you asked me about the narrative about black women ain't shit. Hell, it's going on all day long. Just like it's going on. And it's not all black men that's saying it, because I'm not saying that. And it's not all black women that's saying black men ain't shit. It might be the black woman y'all hanging around that's saying black women ain't shit, because I don't hang around no black woman. And I would not hang around a black woman that's saying black men ain't shit. Because you know when she say black men ain't shit, she's saying my black daddy ain't shit. She's saying my black brothers ain't shit. She's saying you as my best friend ain't shit. So I wouldn't hang around a black woman that's talking bad about black women, men like that. Now, I'm not saying they don't exist, but if you not hang around a black woman that's saying black men ain't shit, then you need to school her or send her on her way. There is no ands, ifs, or buts. Don't keep company with a black woman or a black man that would say a black woman or a black man ain't shit.
Right. And you know, and that's where I was going to go with the women. If that's the kind of man that you're picking that's beating on you, choose better next time. If you're having dudes and keep having babies for men that are leaving you, you know, what's the common denominator in that situation where you can't sustain a relationship? It is you. You know, same thing with me. I've been married twice. What's the common denominator in me not being in successful relationships? It's me. I'm not going to blame society or any other girl and take my baggage and say, oh, because this woman treated me wrong and whatever. All women are like that. That's what men are saying. You know, we need to stop with the, the everybody thing when it doesn't exist, especially when you've never been in an abusive relationship, you know, because I think that takes away from people who actually have been in an abusive relationship when you're just jumping on the bandwagon.
So yes, Common Man 80 says at the end of Claudine, James Earl Jones' character came back and married her with her kids. Get the facts straight. Now, I've seen Claudine a million times, and I totally agree with you. He did eventually do that, but I was bringing that up to say that she had like 8 kids or something like that. No man around.
She was still fine.
Right. But there was no man around. And it's somewhere in that movie, James Earl Jones, he didn't treat her very nice. He tried to, but he got scared off, but he did eventually come back. So I wasn't saying that, you know, James Earl Jones didn't end up being a good guy, but I was pointing out as an example. But trust me, as a child, I watched that movie with my mama, and I had the movie, but I lost it in a house fire. So
remember that movie? I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. Me and my mom used to watch that. My mom used to just be tearing.
Yes, indeed. The brother Jonell says, I understand what you're saying, Brother Donovan, because the minister did a whole lecture called The Color Purple, which breaks down the aims of the movie for Black men and Black women. And those narratives have been in their majority, if not all the movies not made by us and sponsored by them. Yes, some even worse than others. So you both are right. Crap is crap. That's what has been, in most cases, still being served to us. Absolutely. And that is why, as I said, too, we should go to whatever we're participating in, whether we're watching or whatever, we should have some knowledge of what it is we're watching. As I said, I don't watch things that are going to permeate me. I'll give you a perfect example. Last year I had cable and I watched the news all the time. And in the news, it says, people are dying of the COVID. Oh, you got to get the vaccine. You got to get vaccine. Oh, people are dying. I was freaked out. But once I stopped watching it, like, I don't even know what the COVID numbers are. Is monkeypox still a thing? I don't even know, because I stopped watching that stuff. I stopped watching the news. I watch a little bit here and there just to kind of get some information, but I don't sit in front of it all day so I can be paranoid all day, you know? Comment Man 80 said he's a rare case. And Marshawn says, Don, love your cartoon picture. And let's see here. Honeydew says, my grandmother was 14, having my dad unmarried her baby. Daddy, 24. Her brothers ran him away for good. He turned into a bum. I know nothing about him, and my father left it that way on purpose. Wow. All right. So I'm just skipping down a little bit. Now I'll catch back up. I just want to get to people who I haven't seen. Let's see here. William, how you doing? Says, good movie. Was her brother, was he gone? Is that what you're saying? I'll let y'all see the movie. Damon says Trump is not the key. Uplifting comes from self-Black first family. Yes, indeed. John says, why are Black movies always gruesome depictions? Yeah, I totally agree with you. I try not to watch those movies as much because I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be trauma. They call it Black trauma porn. It's like, let's just give them all the horrible stuff. So I think it's up to us to stop watching that stuff as well. And Spartacus says, again, The Color Purple is fictional, but the world viewed it as authentic. I hope not. And Beverly says, and the movie was Love Got to Do with It. Yeah, that was another one, you know. And QT says,
stop. Do not talk about my favorite movie. Do not talk about it. That was the Black man's guide to making a successful Black woman. Tina got all the money now. Ike is dead, died basically poor. Come on now.
I'm gonna leave that narrative up to you. Sunlight says Black movies are not horrible depictions. A lot of Black love movies are wonderful. I'd agree with that. And William says, why Black Panther was a woman, Wakanda? Well, if you watch it, it'll tell you. All right. And so let's see here. I see you making a bunch of comments. And Common Man says Eunice Rivers Laurie was the actual Black nurse that lied to Black men in the Tuskegee experiment that injected Black men with syphilis. No Black woman will even watch the movie of the actual story. Well, I covered this. I covered it on the African Diaspora News Channel. I have studied it, the Tuskegee experiment. It's not up on the African Diaspora News Channel anymore. We took it down due to, YouTube kind of getting on people for talking about COVID when it was first out and stuff. So we had to remove it and actually put it on the website. But yeah, I know it was a Black woman that helped a man do that to Black people. I will never lie about that. I don't have ain't no shame in my game. I know that she was used as a tool in the pawn of white supremacy to harm Black people, specifically Black men. Not say Black people, because those Black men who were infected with the syphilis eventually affected their wives and their children as well. And it went on, what was it, for the 1930s all the way up to the late 70s. So yeah, I mean, I ain't got to lie to kick it. Dre G, how you doing? Says I'm late to the chat. Was the movie good? In my opinion, it was good. I'd impress upon everybody if you want to watch it and make your own opinion. Jay says all movies are made for agendas, politics, and social engineering. I would agree with you for the most part. Yes. Marshawn says 2 books that are hard to read and do the most is good. Don't like ugly 1 and 2. And William says God loves movies, everything. Okay. Ashana says we gonna forget about what's love got to do with it. Right. Yeah. What's love got to do with it was a doozy. Sunlight says, did your mom talk negatively? So I guess she's talking. Donovan, are you addressing that in the comments? She's talking to you.
Oh, no. My mom was a widower, so she couldn't talk negatively, especially about my father. So my mom was a widow.
Oh, wow. I'm going to read this. Says Stanley says, I got 4 brothers. None of us have the same father. My mom was on. Some men ain't ish. Yeah, well, we never deal in absolutes here. There are some women who delved into that. And I don't know why she came to that conclusion. I just don't. I would never try to speak for your mother. But yeah, there are some women who do have that ideology. And there's some women who have that ideology due to their own doing. Right. So I'm not saying that about your mom. So please don't mistake me in that. And let's see. Spartacus says, Demetra, if you think The Color Purple was bad, a documentary right after the vanishing family crisis in Black America was even worse. Yeah, I saw that. And some of that was predicated off of the Moynihan report. I'd like to see, I see a lot of Black people, and Kevin Samuels addressed that as well, was basically saying this was an indictment of Black women. No, it wasn't. It was actually a hit piece on the Black family. But I see some people, when they read it, they will see he was saying Black women, this is what Black women do. Nah, that the Moynihan report wasn't a false indictment. Now, when I say a false indictment, it didn't tell the whole story as to how Black people in where they went and visited got in that situation. And so, yes, that movie that you're speaking of, I highlighted Black. I think we're talking about the same movie. Highlighted Black women who were having these children unwed and on the system and this, that, and the other. And they showed these dudes who wasn't, ish, as they say, and all of that. And so that was supposed to enlighten people over America, but it was a hit piece, once again, on the Black family to freak white people out. That's what that was. So you can see that on YouTube. I think it's still there. And William says, why mom and son were willing to believe strong or faith, I don't know. Al B, how you doing? And Dre G says, Nash, appreciate family. Okay. The Incredible Earl, how you doing? It says that young dude is mentally gone. And what dude is that? Honeydew says, I don't watch or know anything about Dennis, Kevin Samuel's friend. All I knew. Yeah, I just happened upon it today. I think somebody posted on Twitter, and he was calling this woman all kind of B, not to the woman, but he was talking to a guy, and he was calling the woman he was talking about a straight up B word. And I was like, okay. Stanley says Kevin Samuels called a few of them biznatches because he didn't like to cuss, but few brought it out. Okay, so I never saw him. I don't know. Dusty Hotep says it's not all of the manosphere either. No, I never did. I don't deal in absolutes. I'm just saying, please. And Marjorie says this is good. Let's do this more often, Demetra. Critiquing movies that bring messages that introduce domestic violence and placing Black men as in the violent. When Black movies we watched made us look comical. Yeah, a lot of those Black movies did. And Anita, how you doing? And Tikoa, he says, brother B, women always want to be right. Not all, but most. Some people just got to learn the hard way. Well, yeah, I mean, if that's the nature of a woman, we got to be right. That's why you just got to say, yes, dear. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, how many of you guys seen my meme? I always send to Demetra at that. It was the end of the What's Love Got to Do with It? And Ike was presenting the flowers. That's what I keep trying to tell Demetra if she tries to leave. Where you going, huh? I'm in here, Demetra. I'm in here.
Absolutely. Common Man 80 says Black America still suffers until this very day from Eunice River Laurie's experiment assistance. During that period of time, it was hard to find Black people with syphilis. Let's keep it real. No, absolutely. Like I said, I will never cover for her. I mean, she was just, but that's what white supremacy does, though. They use Black people as a trusted person. Oh, you could trust me. Eunice, the nurse, she was so sweet and nice, and the brothers trusted her, right? She's a nurse. Yeah. They were locked out of getting help everywhere else, and they trusted her. And she was, she was a snake.
Yeah, wasn't that movie with Lawrence Fishburne, Mrs. Evers' Boys? Yeah.
Yeah, with Alfre Woodard.
Alfre Woodard, yeah. Mm-hmm. She played the title part.
Sunlight says, yeah, but you never say what your faults are, so I'm assuming she's talking to you, Donovan. And Damien says, yes, Miss K going hard in the paint.
Yes, my faults, none. No, joking.
Marshawn, you say, my uncle has made the same statement that Don is saying about choose better. And Marjorie says 100% speak that truth at Donovan and DemetraKaye. And Michael says, Donovan, you need to find yourself with an African woman because she has something in common with you. That's right. Hello, Brother Frank. How you doing? And H. McDaniel, how are you doing? He says, I'm 68. Black men as a collective cannot be faithful to one woman. That's just who they are. You don't have to like it. It is what it is. I'm gonna read it, set it, and forget it. I'm going to set it and forget it.
I ended up responding to that. See, I don't agree with that for the simple fact that I think that's indicative of men. Just in general, we're programmed like that. Most men, black, white, whatever, if we can have 2 or 3 women, we do it. That's just something that we have. Because if we didn't, the human race would die out, literally.
I'm just going to keep on reading. Tawana, it says rap music started to reflect what black exploitation movies portrayed in the film. I totally agree with you. And then John, you put up all these hashtags. I don't know what MBA is. I mean, I have an MBA, but I don't know what it means in the sense that you're putting it. Let's see. And who else came on here? And Thunder, you says, question, how about this? We just stop interacting with one another, start dating and marrying outside races, find happiness and not acknowledge each other. Lots of women will marry black men, black women, find him, please, and be happy. I don't know if I like that, Thunder. I think we should be with each other. You know, I just think that we should. I haven't had a lot of great luck with the brothers, but I still desire a brother. I mean, that's just me. Sudi Vanny says, these folks use gender wars for profit. They are, in many cases, the most toxic folks. If you look into their history on relationships, they haven't been married or been in multiple relationships. Okay. And Brother Donnell says, the news, where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, wow. I'm behind. All right, so I'm going to catch up. Okay, the news is programming at its finest. Majority, the cases is the same. News in all 50 states being served to us in sync. You better believe it. Peace on to you as well, Brother Frank. And let's see here. Rashad says, good points, Demetra. I don't even own a TV. There's so much stuff I don't know about TV because it's too toxic. Absolutely. Herbert, how you doing? Says Superman used to stand. Akimbo, wow, the bad guy emptied his gun. And when the bad guy threw the gun at Superman, he ducked. The bullets were blank, but the gun would leave a knot on his head. Okay. Marshawn says, so agreed, like Rosewood. And Jonelle says, Ike Pimpham was Halloween on Tina. Okay. All right. So let me go on down here. I'm going to get to somebody who has not commented in a while. Dre G says, I hope the movie wasn't another Woman King. It was not, in my opinion. Oh, and H. McDaniel says, black men as a collective are that way. Woo. I'm going to just keep reading. Honeydew says, an old video going around from LaToya Jackson talking about Joe molesting her. But there was
wasn't that proven false because of her manager and stuff like that?
Yeah, and she said that. There was another video too. I don't know why they keep on trying to, well, I do, but keep on trying to destroy that of Joe Jackson and Michael Jackson's legacy. Because on another one, she admitted that it was false and that she was on a very austere management. So I don't know. I don't know why they keep putting that out there. You know, that Joe Jackson is gone, you know. And somebody says your mom watched the movie and she was talking to someone. If you heard all these negative things from her friends, as you said.
Yeah, no. When that movie came out, I was living in Japan. And so the military community is very small, especially for the spouses and the wives and stuff like that. So when the movie came out, you know, they were all talking about that, whatever. But once the movie passed, you know, of course, you're going to hear what people are going to say, right? But when I came to the States, that narrative, I came to the States, and when did I come back to the United States? 1987, 88? So I came to the States, about 1970, 88. I was still hearing that very same narrative. I was still hearing it. As a matter of fact, it was worse from what I was hearing. So I'm just going from my experience. That's when I noticed that there was a shift in how we looked at men, black men.
Yes, indeed. Moni, he says, Demetra, I know I haven't been around because I've been into my own stuff today, but I'm so glad it wasn't a red wave. That's all you all are so hopeful. I'm glad for that. I wasn't hoping for either one.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and it still doesn't matter. I mean, a red wave would have really just been an indictment on the Democratic Party. But the Democrats did not win that overwhelmingly, if you will. Of course, you guys know there's a runoff still in Georgia between Ralph Warnock and Herschel Walker. So, you know, will it go to Herschel or to Ralph Warnock? I've always said that I think that it will, but I think it should also be said that those people, not the senators, some of them, the Congress people, they got to run every 2 years. And so anything is possible, but I would think it would behoove the Democrats to go in there and to pay attention to what Black people are saying. It says, yeah, that was very close. And next time it could be a total disaster if we don't acquiesce to what they want.
Yeah, and real quick, the Democrats have the enough senators to where they will retain control of the Senate. If Ralph Warnock wins, that gives them a majority where Kamala doesn't have to be there for every vote in the Senate. Now, in the House, it looks like the Republicans are going to take over the House. So what does that mean for Black people? Here is your Obama moment right now. And what do I mean by the Obama moment? Well, Black people, we'd love to give you something, but the Republicans are obstructing. The Republicans are obstructing. This is the playbook. They're going to use that as obstruction and say, this is why we can't get nothing done for you, Black people. But notice in the first 2 years of Joe Biden's administration, everybody that wanted something got something except one group, the one group that put them in the White House, that gave them control of the House and the Senate, Black people. This is the playbook. So it is what it is.
And Jerry, thank you so much for the donation. I love and appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. H. McDaniel says, Donovan, how was Black Men program to date? A lot of women, you must be talking about TV. Are you saying Black men cannot decipher between TV and real life?
No, Miss McDaniels, I believe. Here's the thing. You're a woman, so you don't understand it, but most men do understand it, okay? We are pre-programmed like any other animal to want to mate with as many women as possible. Are there men that could be monogamous? Yes, because we're an intelligent animal species. Some of us can be monogamous, but some of us can't. We, just like any other animal, what are those animals, those California seals? They have like colonies of chicks, and they kind of, the sea lions, they have those little colonies, and then you have the big bull in there, and he like guards his colony of women because he wants to be the only one that mates with them. Even in a lion pride, you have a lion pride, and you have the male dominant lion in the male pride, right? He has all these women in the pride. Who is the only one that mates with the females? The alpha male. That is programmed in all animal species, mammal species, because if it wasn't, these species would die out. So, you got to kind of like be a man to kind of understand it. Like, we don't know why we're like that, but if you really think about it, and you could ask most men, if you can have 2 or 3 women, most men are not going to turn that down because we're made different than women. We can have kids up until the time that we're dead. We're programmed in a certain way. I'm not saying it's right. What I'm saying is that is how we're programmed.
Well, thank you, John. I'm going to just ask you this. Since you're saying that men are programmed to have multiple women by nature, there's some animal species that kill and eat their men too, right?
It's called hyenas. Yes, hyena.
I mean, I'm just saying there's some species out there that kill the man. That's like, okay, I got what I wanted. My baby's now.
Yeah, it's called hyenas or insect black widows. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the species in all animal mammal species, most of the males have multiple dens of women, have harem of women. And that's just how we're programmed. I'm not saying, men are just programmed here to have many, but that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying it is in our nature to do that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what we're programmed to do. We're here to procreate. That's what we're here to do. Without men, you guys can't have babies. Without you guys, we can't have babies. So.
Ellis, I think I did see it. I didn't read into it. I saw it briefly. He has a mugshot from 2002, huh? He didn't talk
Why did he have a mugshot? What did he do?
I don't know. I saw it, but I didn't read into it. I must have just skipped by it really quick. But oof. And Gifty Sanae, how you doing? He says correct. How you doing? Also say black first. And then Facts Not Feeling says, I understand exactly, Donovan. So y'all all are saying men are saying it's nature. And they all saying truth hurts, ladies. It's still true. And the damn right. And, all of that kind of stuff. Marnie says, hello, my handsome brown sugar. It's about 8:07. I know you guys will be leaving. I'm tied up moving forward. So I'll pop in from time to time. But I haven't heard you guys' intake on the Democrats. Hopefully you just heard it right now. But Moni, when you get some free time, come on back and join us. And let's see. And don't ask me. It says it's all in men, most men. Okay. And our common man 80 says Black American men are loved and are respected in every single country that isn't a part of America or the European Union. But that then again, German women and Russian women love African American men. I mean, all right. There's Black women over here that love Black men too. So again, and I tell you all the time, I don't get involved in the divestiverse and the manosphere, and I don't get involved in all of that. I'm about, promoting Black love between Black men and women. That's my thing. Y'all want to go, and I say this all the time. Y'all want to go and be with another woman from somewhere, we ain't stopping y'all from doing that. I think you should go be where you are happy. But I know a lot of Black men who like y'all can go, y'all can have those women and get your passports, but I want me a sister from America. So I don't know. I can't tell y'all what to do. I'm just telling you what I know from myself and from some brothers I know. Okay. And let's see. Sunlight says, DemetraKaye, doesn't the Bible say no fornication? Yeah, but these Negroes ain't reading the Bible. And y'all know I'm not religious either, but but they also know they quick to call a woman a Jezebel too, aren't they? Cutie says, no, you most certainly can be monogamous. Those of you who don't want to choose not to, and that's fine with me. Well, my problem is you aren't entitled to be with women who aren't a part of that program. Bingo. Just because you like to have more cat on the line, I tried to clean that up.
Sure.
Don't mean you got to be a liar.
Right, exactly. And women, you guys sitting there acting like you're all innocent and all this other stuff, y'all sharing the same exact dick. Y'all are having babies by the same group of dudes in the neighborhood.
Now, that ain't all sisters.
No, it ain't all men. There are men that are monogamous. I know a bunch of men that are monogamous, been married for years.
You gave us a history lesson.
No.
You gave us from the wild animal kingdom history lesson about how men are. It's in them.
It's programmed.
Your royal oats.
No. See, there you go, being a woman again, taking it far left. As a man, we are pre-programmed to want to mate with as many women as any other animal in the kingdom does here on the earth. That's what it doesn't mean we're going to do it because we're an intelligent species. But if you look at most men, these are facts. If you go to most men and you say, hey, you can have her, and her, most men will be like, sure, why not? I don't know many men that would turn something like that down. That's what we're saying. But in reverse, you've got women that are having sex and having babies by the same guy. So it works in reverse as well. But in the species of, and the reason I use animals is because animals are not as intelligent as we are as a species of animal. We're on the top of the food chain. They pretty much do the same exact thing that we do. When animals have sex, they have sex the same basic way that we do, doggy style, whatever. So the male species in all mammals are programmed like that. We just are. And I don't expect women to understand it, but we're programmed the way that we're programmed, because if we weren't programmed that way, babies would not be born on the rate that they're being born now, period.
You said a lot, brother. I don't even have time to even dissect all of that. But QT says, Demetra, you know that some LGBTW women have actually made videos saying that it is the Black woman's fault that they are on the DL. Or Black men said that Black moon that they're on the DL. They said because we refuse to date bi men, they go GL as if we are owe them us. Yeah. I don't think I should have to say this, but I don't want my man on the deal. But I guess apparently we come into that where we have to say, listen, I prefer you not cheat on me, and I really prefer you not do it with another man. If you want to go that way or you that way, then stay away from me, right? I would never accept. That's why I said I'll probably just be by myself for the rest of my life, because I'm not one of those women that would accept my man being with another woman. I'm not built like that, and damn sure ain't gonna accept my man being with another man. So I guess I'm just off the market, I guess. Let's see here. Ashanda, he says, why Adam and Eve and not Adam and Adam and Eve, Tanisha and Shannon? So are you saying it's just them two and not Eve and all the other women with them? So that's a good question. LS says Warlock had an attorney seal the case. I'm interested to see what it was about. William said dinosaurs are past, our animals are now. Time will change differently. Okay, and see me in the hood, the gangsters say, what's up, what's up? I like that. How you doing? He says, you guys do know Black Panther was created by Stan Lee. Yes, yep, we know that. And welcome. I like the name, by the way. Dre G says, Demetra is a ride or die. I love it. You better believe it all day long. All right, and I'm just going down to see Kiki. How you doing? He says, hey, peeps. Yes, men can have babies into old age. This is true. Doesn't mean they should, though. Babies of older men have a higher chance of heart defects and mental health disorders. Just saying.
True. And geriatric pregnancy at past 35 makes health issues for women, so.
I'll just read your comments. He said the hyena is the bottom feeder of animals. They aren't canine or feline. They are mixed between the two. Okay. We're talking about how hyenas will, eat the man. All right. And Jarrell, how you doing? He says, I recommend people also watch Dane Calloway's channel, Black Americans Are the True Indians. Yeah, I think you keep telling me about that. It's funny because now I'm starting to see him on Twitter, I think it is, because now I spend a little bit more time on Twitter. Marvin, how you doing? He says, I know I'm late, but Neymar is an Aztec name. Dude was Hispanic in the comics, and the story follows the comics. So I would say, no, it's not gentrified. And I saw the movie, and I would, come up with that it's not gentrified because that wasn't his purpose.
Yeah, and Neymar wasn't Hispanic in the comics. He was an Atlantean.
He's an Atlantean?
Yeah, Atlantis. He's from Atlantis.
Well, what are Atlanteans? What are Atlanteans?
Atlanteans, they were like from Rome and stuff, and like Atlantis, the lost kingdom of Atlantis. That's where he came from.
Because I guess they were speaking Mayan, so I don't know how that correlates.
Yeah, because in the movie, from my understanding in the movie, they just did that to move it and not get it confused with Aquaman's kind of on the DC side. If you guys know anything about Marvel and DC, they had similar characters that had similar backgrounds. They were just called differently. So Aquaman was from Atlantis as well. So that's the DC character. And the Namor, and what they did was they just changed it so it doesn't get confused with Aquaman origin and stuff like that. But in the comic, the real comic, Namor is from Atlantis.
Yes, indeed. And William, you say Stan Lee is brilliant and creative artist. He made amazing characters. I would agree with that. Like I said, I read why he created Black Panther, and he didn't have to do that, and he did. So I don't know. Don't get me to talking above my pay grade because I don't really know a whole lot about that. QT says here it comes. When they did survey about Black men having least amount of children, they asked them. They did no DNA, and I personally know of a man who has 3 children, but he only claims one of them. Oof. And let's see here. Y'all saying the facts not feeling saying Donovan is correct. Complex Blackness says Neymar is not Hispanic in the comics. Okay. And I'm just seeing who else came on here. And LS, she says, one man, one woman. Sarah told Abraham to sleep with Hagar, not God. That is true. She did, because she could not give him a child. So she actually usurped that of God. And it worked out, but it didn't work out kind of thing. But yeah, you're absolutely right. So you guys are saying that he is not Hispanic. He is Atlantean or Atlian or whatever, how you say it. All right. All right. Who else came on here? I want to give him a shot. Let's see. H. McDaniel said, you just called men animals, but you get upset when a woman call men dogs. So I guess they have to be a certain animal. Hyenas laugh out loud. I'm over it. I'm gonna say it and forget it. That comment don't need no more commentary. See me in the hood. It says, can't deal with with more than one woman. My brain melts after a while. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could be a handful. I don't know how y'all do it. Michael says, Demetra, do a lot of people tell you that you like to control men? Nope, not nobody has told me that I like to control men, because I don't like to control men. I've seen it done right. My daddy is FOY since he's 19. My mama was MGT. So I didn't see that. I didn't see women controlling men. It has never been my desire to control men. Hell, I want a man to control me. And I'm just being straight up with it.
Ain't gonna happen.
I don't know why. Where you at? Control me, baby.
Have a whole lot of rum with you if you're gonna be doing all that.
You said what?
A whole lot of rum with you.
Hey, it'd be a lot of fun though. It'd be a lot of fun, you know. Only Pamela's way says right, Sister Demetra. That's a no for me. No cheating and no to the DR. I'm putting that on the table. Ashandi saying the same thing exactly, Demetra. Why not Adam with multiple women? He had one wife. Hello.
Now remember, not everybody believes the way that you might believe. So
okay, I'm just leave it at that. Let's see. Marvin says if he was Atlantean, I know I'm jacking it up. He said that would make him a European. Which way you
correct.
want to go with it?
That's right. If his origins from Atlantis, Atlantis is near Italy and the Aegean Sea. Yes, he would be of your European nature.
I take your word for it. I know nothing about that at all. Sunlight says, there sure are a lot of women having healthy babies over 35.
Well, that's kind of, and me and Sunlight been going back and forth on that. That's kind of funny when the narrative is that Black women are dying giving birth in the United States over 35 and younger as far as their health care.
Brother Jonelle says majority of us at best as man refuse to be disciplined above our tendencies for whoredom. It takes a disciplined minded man to stay with one woman, and women are not promiscuous by nature. So teaches the Honorable Minister Farah Khan. I totally agree with that. I tell you all the time, I'm 51 years old. I am single and I'm not going to be parading a bunch of men in and out of my house. And I'm just not. I've never been the type of woman to lay down with a man that was not mine, and I will not start now at the age of 51. Whoever I'm with got to be claiming me. It ain't gonna be just some dude. We kind of hang out, we friends with benefits. Nah, If I got to have cobwebs coming from out of me, then so be it. That's just the way it is. QT says all healthy.
Not cobwebs. Stop.
Cobwebs, creaks.
Just wear the granny panties and call it a day.
Hell, it is what it is. QT says all healthy and all are alive and well today. Okay, so are you talking about your children? I'm sorry. And then sadly, Kiki says, sadly, the Black race aren't having babies since 2014. We really haven't collectively advanced, and population is not good at all, especially for brothers. There are already more girls born than boys, and unfortunately, not enough babies are being born to replace Black men. Something's got to give, because now more than ever, women aren't wanting to have babies. It's not looking good, folks. I totally agree with you. And, like I said, I've taught my daughter, no. Don't be bringing no kids here without no son-in-law. No, that's not no. Because, ultimately, I don't want her to bring her grandchildren here. I want to be able to go visit my grandbaby in the hospital and say, oh, it's so beautiful. She thinks she's going to have twins the first time out. So all I have to say twins. Oh, my grandbabies are so beautiful. Okay, I'm going to drop by y'all house. I'm going to bring all the gifts, anything you need. Not okay, well, let me bring the car around so you can bring the car seat out and then you come home with the baby. Nah, sis, I want you to go home. You and your husband, if y'all need some little help or whatever, come over to my house. I'll help y'all with the baby and all of that. But ultimately, I want y'all to go home and raise your baby. And nope, I'm not going to be, having night watch with the baby. Nah, no. So, yeah. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? It jumped up. Okay, so that was Kiki's thing. But yeah, to your point, nobody, they're not having babies, but they should be. Get with somebody and have a baby and raise a family. Common Man 80 says it depends on the health of the male. Each man who's older should have his sperm checked before making children later in life. In most cases, there should be no problem. Now they shooting them like dice. And they just landing wherever. William says alien in body, why human is good and bad, reason evil. Brother, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. And Shonda, you laughing. And T-Shawn, how you doing? He says, what's your thoughts about Angela Rye? Oof. I mean, I haven't followed Angela Rye in a minute. I know that she was that girl for the Democrats. I know that she was. So I think she's still riding for the Democrats. I don't know, but she was that girl for the Democrats. And if she's still on that, I mean, I don't love her. I don't hate her either. I don't like her message at all. But a lot of black people think she's woke. All of that. Moni says they've been trying to wipe us out slowly but surely. What I've seen in this election is that so many have been shook up and has sent a clear message to Congress not to underestimate anything ever. Hopefully, right? Thank you. Don't ask me. I appreciate that. Michael says the Demetra Tiger Woods will not want to date you because he knows that you're a strong and independent person. And guess what? I wouldn't want to date Tiger either. I'm just saying. QT says, you know what? Donovan has an answer for everything, but then say we can't be taught. Sunlight says Serena was an example of how old was she? Yeah, and how old is Serena now? She's close to 40, if I'm not mistaken, or in her 40. Ashana says, Donovan, since you say y'all are animals, maybe subscribe to evolution. Ooh. And Marjorie said, amen, sister.
Yeah, I just answered that question again. If you do not understand that as a human being, you are an animal, you're just a higher species of animal, then you don't know what you're talking about. We are just a higher species of animal. We are no different than we're considered mammals. Mammals are no different than orcas, whales, squirrels, whatever. We're called mammals. That makes us an animal. Please know what you're talking about. Please know what you're talking about.
Well, she giving birth to number 10 next month with my faithful husband. That will make 6 boys and 4 girls. Catch up, my Black family. Seriously, it's a lot of work, but it's a calling and investment.
Amen. Amen. Like I said, be fruitful and multiply. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I didn't mean to be disrespectful with that, but it's like when people don't understand, it's like, and unfortunately, we have people that think citizenship is a race. As people say, well, I'm German. That's a nationality. So, whatever. So my apologies there.
And yes, indeed, Ashonda, congratulations. We should be fruitful and multiply. That's what everybody else does, but we need to get on the same page, Black man and Black woman, like you guys are doing, Ashonda. And whatever it is you're doing, keep spreading the word and waking people up and telling them how it's done. That is very success. That is the epitome of success, Black love. And I'm sure Ashonda will say it ain't easy, but they doing it, right? And so that's what we all should strive to be doing that. I don't want to lie to y'all and say I would have loved to have more than one child. I was one of those people, like I didn't want any children, but God blessed me with one. But I ended up raising 3 of my niece, 1 niece and 2 nephews. And so I ended up with more children anyway. But me and her father didn't work out. And so personally, I didn't want to have children with multiple men. So that's kind of why I didn't. But as I said, I was very blessed to raise 3 other children. So I don't know if that counts in the larger scheme of things. Let's see. All right. So let me get down to the bottom. Yes, as Shauna says, it was a question. I was not being rude. So I hope that's why you were apologizing, Donovan, because you was like,
oh, no, but sometimes, it does get frustrating when people take what you're saying out of context. And not saying that Shonda did that, but 10 kids in the modern age, woo, that's an anomaly. That is an anomaly, but you guys are making it work. And that's a great thing. My dad was the second oldest of 22 children. My mom was the oldest of 12, same mother, same father. You don't have, back then they had big families. Nowadays, it's very rare to see people with big families. And to me, a big family is exactly what you have it. To me, it's at least 8 or more.
I love it. I love it to see us producing to that degree, and a Black man and a Black woman together doing it together. That we need to promote that more. You know what I mean? And a Facts Not Feelings says, someone tell Warnock the Bible said, be fruitful and multiply, not support abortions. Yeah, he ain't listening though. And QT says, yes, but we are higher order. We are more advanced, smarter. It's why we are the ones over all the animals. So we should be smarter and do better than them. Yes. All right. And Amoni says, when I seen that movie today, Demetra, if you look at the list of Lifetime movies on YouTube, it made me think about how these people take it too far on religion and marriage sometimes, and abuse not right. Okay. All right. And Micah, how you doing? I hope I said that right. It says, like you said, Donovan, we do not all believe the same thing. For instance, I believe we all made in the image of the Most High, which means I do not consider us as animals. I agree. I don't consider us as animals either. I think we are a little bit more evolved than that. And LS says animals operate on instinct. People think well, at least most of us. I totally agree. And that is the difference. I think it was Earl Nightingale, who was, I kind of call him a philosopher, I guess. He says the difference between a man and a pig is that the man has a mind and the pig has a brain. So we both have a brain, but the man has a mind. So basically we're saying the man has the ability to think and evolve because, and Donovan, you're more entitled to your opinion, so I'm not questioning you on that. But just to kind of sum up what people are saying, the difference between us and an animal is that we are evolved higher. We're supposed to be mentally to where animals, they don't really have the ability, I don't know, maybe they do, to think and reason and stuff like we do. They just are instinctful in that, like a chicken. It pecks. It's not saying, that's some doo-doo or that's a rock or whatever. They just peck and then I guess whatever they do with it. But us, we have the ability to say, well, I don't want to eat that. That don't look appetizing or whatever. So that's the difference between man and animal is our ability to think and reason.
Correct. And then you have whales that can think and reason. You have gorillas that can think and reason. It just depends on what species of animal you are in the hierarchy. So again, a lot of people say if whales weren't in the ocean, especially orcas weren't in the ocean, they would be a high level of species that walk the earth. It's just a fact. They teach their kids. As a matter of fact, the orcas live in a matriarch society.
How many orcas built a stoplight or an iPhone?
Well, none. That's because they long ago went into the ocean and evolved into the ocean. But the point is, they still do a lot of things that we as humans do. The mothers teach the children and all that other stuff. They have a lot of similarities. That's what I'm saying. Just because you call yourself a human doesn't mean you're not an animal. You're just a higher order of an animal. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. Rashad says we're a separate species from animals. We're even a separate species from Neanderthal hybrids, pale people. I would hope so, right? Yes, indeed, Ashonda. All right, so let's see here. Who else came on here before we get out of here? We burning OT. Yes, indeed. Don't ask me. He says, what separates us from other animals is how we prepare our food. That too. Common man, he says octopus can think and reason. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't, but I think we are at the top of the food chain. I think we are for a reason.
Yes, but have you guys go on YouTube and there's a picture of and go to an orca. And there's a video of an orca where there's a seal that was trapped on an ice float. And the orcas looked up and together they were figuring it out. As a matter of fact, whales communicate. They talk in clicks and all this other stuff, right? Especially the orcas. They figured out a way to knock the seal off of the ice floe and killed it to eat. So they're an evolved species as well. They're not as evolved as we are, but they're an evolved species. We are all mammals. Do mammals give birth? Correct. And mammals drink milk for their children. Correct. We have a lot of similarities. We're no different than we're animals. We're just a higher species.
Common man, yes, indeed. Orcas. What are they?
Yes. Orcas do have hands in their flippers. If you go look at the X-rays of a orca's flippers, it looks just like a hand. They have evolved because they went to the ocean.
Yes, indeed. Now we're just being silly. Brother Jonell says, animal is our lowest stage, supreme being is our highest. We are born for elevation, not to remain a crawl. Ooh. Yes, Lord.
Correct.
Yes.
A man eventually stood. Exactly.
And so what my dear brother is saying, we ain't supposed to still be crawling.
Correct.
We supposed to be up on our feet.
Correct. And we are. As human beings, we are on our feet.
We ain't supposed to run around.
And women are supposed to cat around. You know what I'm saying? City girl around. Exactly. Whatever.
You're supposed to be on your feet mentally. Absolutely. Bait Racks, how you doing? All right, y'all. So let's see here. Y'all know we could be on here forever. We love and appreciate y'all, but we're about to get out of here. I got to be up very early in the morning. But we will be back here Tuesday. Donovan and I will have our podcast. I don't know what we'll talk about. It should be interesting.
Well, we're going to be talking about the midterm elections with Stacey Abrams losing and right now currently blaming Black men. If you guys have been following my tweet, I sent it to Demetra. How many of you guys noticed that Stacey Abrams got less votes than Herschel Walker? So what does that tell you about Black people in Georgia in general, men or women, however you want to do it? Stacey Abrams got less votes than Herschel Walker. So we're going to be talking about that on Tuesday as well.
Yes, indeed. And then some other stuff. So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. We will see y'all on Tuesday and Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. That's also a riot too, where he's giving financial advice and all of that. And, stories. And Walter's somehow a comedian. He's always been naturally funny though. So anyway, and all the other things, look for me on the African Diaspora News channel. Go over there and follow if you haven't already. Brother Phil Scott's channel, Donovan Saadiq's channel, the Phil Scott audio experience and all of that. And so anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Also, we have ways to donate to the channel if you would like to help. Those of you guys who are members and help all the time, we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. We could not and would not do it without you. Peace.